Cool. Let's let people drag in. Good to see everyone. Maybe it's better I don't look at the stats. Maybe I have no idea whether I'm talking to a room. Please, if you joined, let me know you're here. Welcome. It's good to be jamming with people. So there's two events going right now. So we just check it out. We're walking along. There's got a notification going like, oh, there's two events going. No, that's not yet. Good to see everyone. Please, if you've just joined, let me know that you're here. Say hi. No, it's not walking along. Lovely. And so we can't check to see if people are here. Cool. Alright, I'm going to chuck a live up on Instagram. I don't know if you can read those. Let's chuck a live up here. Everything in your side, Commander? Awesome. Perfect stuff. Okay, very cool. I see the email reminders will come out as well, which is always good to see. Cool. Welcome to everyone on Instagram. I am creating my live on here just to tell you all to head over to YouTube, as that is exactly where we're going to be running the live stream from. So jump over to YouTube for the free value. The reason I need you on YouTube is because we've got a beautiful, let me just show you. Thank you, guys, I appreciate that. Funny thing is that video is actually from like 5 months ago. It came up on my reels. I was like, okay, nice. I appreciate that. But yeah, the reason that I've gone live here is I want everyone to come join me on YouTube. I will be live here for a few more minutes, but then I will be jumping over to YouTube stream. We have an overhead camera here. We've got Amanda over there, the man himself. Some food over here. We are locked in for the next 4 hours. This is the first in my life in the Better Call Saul, and yeah, I want everyone to come over and jam with me on the beautiful YouTube. It was good to see the viewers on YouTube coming over. Good to see you, my friends. Welcome to the live stream over on YouTube. But jump over to YouTube because I will be ending this live stream very, very soon to go over and stay as a priority on Instagram, on YouTube. So that's what I'm going to be running. What I'm going to do firstly for anyone who has joined me at the start is just give you a chance to ask some questions. Please drop some questions in the chat on the YouTube itself. I will answer questions on YouTube. I see some nice questions on my Instagram, which is much appreciated. Luke, good to see you. You're tired. Thank you, buddy. Hello, Betsy. Hello, everyone. Come over and join me on that. Okay, why have I got your comment? Hey, Luke, good to see you, my friend. How do I know, Luke? I've managed to somehow go black and white over. Am I on black and white? Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fire over. Everyone, please join me over on YouTube. I will see you on YouTube. Okay, cool. Cool. Good to see everybody. Okay. Let's keep it rolling, nicely. Are you rocking and rolling in Master Among Us? Good. Brother, looking nice and sexy. Okay, cool. So, yeah, Luke, good to see you start on the journey. It is a part of the journey. This is probably one of the most exciting things that I've done so far in the business. I'm so excited to do live streaming I think live stream is the place to be. I think it's so good and such a great idea as a way to actually build a business. Maybe I'll explain a little bit more about the reason I'm live streaming. So anyone who's listening, this is probably a very interesting take, is that one of the things about the online space now is that everyone is focused on grabbing attention, and by all means that is a good way to spend your time. That's what I appreciate it. It's a good way to spend your time. But on the other hand, the other thing that I believe on is putting as much value and build as much trust in the market as possible in order to turn basically what you're doing into something that can convert value. And people are sitting there like, this person actually knows what I'm talking about. And the funny thing about this is, even now, like we're sitting there, there's a few people on the live stream, but what would happen is this is one of those activities that I would do every single week, and I would do that without doubt every single week over and over again, knowing that this is something that works. Every good thing starts with a slow start and people turning up and being like, this is the reason that I come to this church every week. Some people turn into buyers, and if not, I'll be doing pretty bad as well. So that's exactly why I'm doing all these live streams, and I'm going to be breaking down my YouTube videos. I'm going to be breaking down the can you volume up your market a little bit. Cool. Let us know if you can hear us, my friend. Can you hear us on that? Amanda and I set up this studio pretty much in a week apart, so we're having some fun with it, but some feedback is very much appreciated. How are we on the audio, Amanda? Good? Love it. Can you hear us, my friend? Please just thumbs up in the chat. If you're here and you're just lurking, I'm not going to harass you, I just want to know you're here. Just give me a thumbs up and say hi. If anyone has any questions, please just roll them in the chat. It's so useful to be able to join something like this. Obviously, when I charge my coaching, it's super high ticket, but for now, you'll be able to answer the questions. So please do fire on the chat. Cool. We good? We're good. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to start with, and I'm going to start by kind of rewarding those people who are here on the live stream earlier than everyone else, is I want to basically talk about the way that my business makes money and the system that we install in our clients' businesses. And it's a super simple system, but it's the easiest way to effectively know that you're going to factor. It's the easiest way to effectively know that you're only bringing in leads. So what I do is I'm just going to split it into like everything that we do. So the first is traffic. The second is conversion, and this is sales. So in this live show, I'm going to be talking a lot more about the kind of delivery aspect, but this is just the system that we talked about. So this is very simple, which is all you do within the traffic is you create content. So simple. It's literally come down to create some content. And you're effectively doing two things. One is that you're using organic, and you're using organic, and you're using paid. So they are the super simple ways that the system works. If you make a load of organic and you make a load of paid. Just for someone who's interested, we're posting about, if you even do the maths, we're posting 28 images a week. We're posting 10 LinkedIn. We're posting 2 YouTube. We'll be posting 7 YouTube businesses on a new channel very soon. And we're posting 21 TikToks. So that, when I talk about making content, I genuinely mean making content. What's that? 38, 40, 47, 68. So 68 bits of content. So we post 68 bits of content every single week. And you can flex that as you like. I can't do that with our team, of course, but I do that is the content that I post. And then the paid stuff is very simple to start with, which is good. So you just keep it on. So that is the way that I generate traffic. That's how you have probably come to find me, and it's also how I generate eyeballs to get people into that ecosystem. And that is exactly how I then build trust. So I build trust using the trust building ecosystem. And this ecosystem is so simple but so effective at bringing people to your offer, the business that you have, anywhere that you're generating leads, to basically build a system that people come to sales calls and go, I would like to buy something. And that is what works best, is this trusted ecosystem. So the way that we do that is with YouTube videos, we use Instagram stories, and we ads as well. So all of that is the way that we build as much trust as possible. But what also happens is someone will watch an Instagram, someone will watch or read a LinkedIn video, LinkedIn post, or watch a LinkedIn video, see some YouTube, go to YouTube Business, TikTok, all that sort of thing, and trust is still there. When I say it sticks is when basically I ask someone who's joined this time, they ask, they say whether they find you, and even from today, booked a call with us through an ad, so that's like a paid bit of content, but they said on the call that they actually spent most of the time with us on LinkedIn. And that is why we just do social media. You just want to be absolutely everywhere. One of my favourite things as well is that people bought from me on LinkedIn, and people bought from me on Instagram, but they look at my LinkedIn, they look at my TikTok, and every time someone goes to a sales call, they always end up viewing me on LinkedIn, which I find so funny. It's like, thank you, Landis. They always, we can have them shot if that's needed. So we find that people who buy from me on through Instagram, they always view my LinkedIn, always see XX person who buy LinkedIn. It's so funny, right? And it shows you just need this social glamour. You need to be everywhere. Even when someone Googles you, what actually comes up when you Google my name or your name. So that's it. And then we have some very cool conversion mechanisms, which is very much reserved for my private clients, because these are a bit more of the tips and tricks that we do to get people out of this ecosystem and into the sales cycle. But to give you the kind of overall, is we have DMs, we have emails, which we're just cranking up now, and then we have ads, and they're conversion ads. And they're the effective ways that we sell people. You have a tool, so demo and closing, and we use that to effectively convert people into working. That is the system that I use, and that is the system that I've developed over time to basically know that I can build as much trust as possible to get people who want to work with us. Thank you for listening to that. Let me actually answer some questions. If anyone actually has any questions on that, please do let me know. Luke, are they all unique bits of content? So when I'm posting on here, on the Instagram, on the LinkedIn, on the YouTube, they're definitely not all unique parts. What we do is we take a core idea and then we distribute it. So one of the reasons I'm even doing these live is to create what I covered off with Mosey's idea is a basic hero content. And that's what I mean by hero content. If you produce this massive thing, and your editors, your copywriters can go in and knit that as content. So the bit that I just said in the last 30 seconds, my LinkedIn copywriter will go in and be like, it'll start with a hook saying we made $500,000 last year, and then we'll go, these are the 3 ways that we convert people, and go through everything else. They'll then create that as a LinkedIn post. My short form editor will go in and clip this all up and post this. And then also my TikTok editor will go in or my YouTube video editor will go in and use that as an 8-second or an 8-minute clip to put on YouTube. So that's the way that we run it. It's you want to be doing as little work as possible to make the most out of content. That is the way that it works. And what I recommend for people starting out is just to focus on one channel. So focus on Instagram, focus on LinkedIn, and then just combine it with a little bit of YouTube. Because if you're trying to spread yourself too thin, you just haven't mastered the platform. So that's what I recommend for that. I hope that was useful. Any other questions, please let me know. Please let me know if you know. Good to see you. Hi, my friend. Hope you are well. Please get me. Hope that was useful. Any more questions, please let me know. Okay, well, in the meantime, what I'm going to do is slide my paper along. Like this. And one of the reasons that I want to do this and talk about hero content is actually going in and filming some YouTube videos. But the cool thing about this is not only am I going to film my YouTube videos live, which means you actually get to see how I film my YouTube videos, but you're also going to get a taste of we'll give you something nice at the end of watching, and you get to ask questions, which is obviously mostly reserved for my private clients, so it's cool that you get access to that. So in terms of setup, because we're probably super interested, I have a whiteboard behind me here with all the descriptions that you see me looking past you, so I'm looking at my whiteboard split. talking to the camera, and we've got this lovely little like bit of paper here to play with as well. So, I'm going to start with my hook. You're going to see how it goes. What's going to happen is we're going to jam, my editor's going to press it up, and then we can have a conversation from there. So, here's the hook. Imagine if you could build something that brought you in with pre-sold leads that were begging to work with you. Well, that's what I've built. A $500,000 business in 2025 that is powered all by a magnetic personal brand. I started my business in January 2025, and since then I've worked with 100 plus people to build and scale their online offers. But it all came down to building a personal brand that brought in people that wanted to work with me. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you exactly how I grew that brand from absolutely zero to changing my life, allowing me to work whenever and wherever I want as well. I'm going to break down every single thing you need to know about building a personal brand so that you can replicate it and bring leads to your heights of the business. So one of the first things that blew my mind about building a personal brand was in January 2025 when I started my business. I was posting on social media and I was helping people with content advice. And I put up an Instagram story just saying, oh, by the way, if anyone wants some help with growing some content, I'm taking on a few people. And I had someone join a call and be like, so honestly, like, I've seen everything that you've been speaking about online. I know you're in Dubai right now. I know what your favorite coffee is. And where can I pay? And up to that point, I'd just been posting for myself. I've been posting to impress myself and to basically use it as like an ego statistic. And then I realized all the work that I've been putting in building a brand, putting content out there, had led to some random person on the other side of England who came to me and said, I would like to buy from you. And they didn't really care what price that was. They knew that I had the solution to their problem. And that's when it clicked for me that everything I should do in business is about building as much trust as possible and building a personal brand. It's so magnetic that all the marketing speaks for itself and sales take care of themselves. And that is exactly what I'm going to break down through this video today, everything that I've learned from that. So the first thing that we want to do is we need to talk about, let's not start with number 2. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to actually create structure. Because what most people will try and do is they'll try and start a personal brand by saying, I'm going to post those. I'm just going to go out and find it. And that's exactly what I did. I was like, I'm going to make so much content, I'm going to build so much trust. And what happens is you burn out. If you don't have these systems in the first place, then you actually need, let's start with like this. This is the fun thing about you seeing these live streams all weekend. Yeah. Cool. Just adjusting the camera. Cool. Are you happy? Is this useful, guys? Are you enjoying the live stream? Do you think it's good from the start? Yeah. Cool. If I'm here, is it fine? If I'm talking here? Yeah. Oh, I need to less adjust it. This is the live part. This is exactly what I want to do. Like, I want you to see, I want to almost break down the fourth wall of what it's actually like to build this stuff. Because it's not this easy operation that everyone talks about. That doesn't stop. This isn't in shot from this camera. That is incredible. Crazy. Like this guy, man, Mr. G. Good stuff. Okay, but I want to break the fourth wall and show you what it's actually like to film this stuff. So hopefully it's useful. Please let me know in the chat if it is useful. So what I'm doing is I'm going to break down the structure. So the structure you need to build an incredible personal brand that is magnetic is firstly you need to actually understand how to post consistently. Okay, let's start right away. My spelling, the worst thing about Google is my spelling. So the first thing that you need to actually build an organic personal brand is consistency. And that is because consistency is the name of the game. I've met so many people who, with their brands, who say that they're going to start exploding it, and then just fall off. I want to talk to you about 2 things that change the game for me. And that is the concept of System 1 and System 2. System 2. So the thing about System 1 is you want to focus on one avatar with one channel. One avatar and one channel. Because what most people do is they try and post on all the platforms. You might try and be the LinkedIn guy. You might try and be the YouTube girl. You might try and post on all of them, and what will happen is you'll just fail. Unless you have a team, it is impossible to go big and actually post on all the channels. So you want to focus on one avatar and one channel. I highly recommend Instagram or LinkedIn to start with. That's exactly how I do by going Instagram straight away and driving people to LinkedIn. That is system. System 2 is about having less of a plan and vibe posting. That's exactly what I do. I know that I need an avatar and I have a channel. And what I do, let's start again. And that is exactly how I post, because I have one avatar and one channel, and that is on Instagram. And then what I do is, let's start again. So the reason I have System 1 and System 2 is because when I have System 1, that means that I can batch create. And that is the whole idea between batch System 1 and System 2, is that we want to batch create content. So you need to batch content. And the content process is split into 3 very distinct parts, which is ideation, filming, and editing. There are more processes involved, but in general, you want to focus on those 3. The most important thing, and the biggest thing that I see people falling off with, is the fact that they do everything in one day. You wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, great, I'm going to work out what video I'm going to get, you use the brain energy for that, and then you go to filming and you go to editing. I remember when I was doing this, I was in my parents' house while I was growing my business, and it was exhausting. It felt like I was a full-time content creator. I was like, if I get any clients here, I will never be able to service anything, because all of them, because I spend all my time is making content. And what I did is, instead of doing this, then this, in the days, I made sure that I split them into different sessions. So for example, on a Monday, I will do my ideation. On a Wednesday, I will do my filming. And on a Friday, I will do my editing. And that's exactly what I did when I started. And that was so easy, because what it allowed me to do is focus very deeply on the ideation and then get into a flow. And once you're in the flow and you're looking at things and you're like, okay, this is exactly what I want to create, you start getting into a rhythm of ideation. The last thing you want to do is then go and end up filming something and then editing it at the same time. Because for all the activation energy that it uses to actually go and ideate and then film, you waste so much time. So what you want to do is batch your content. That is System 1. What you want to do is I have a content library. It's like a calendar broken down like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And it has days of the week. And I literally just go, okay, this post is then, this post is then, this post is then, this post is then. And I just do that across the calendar. And that is the easiest thing, because I know in the next 2 weeks, I have got as much content as I want to post out there. That is my System 1. That is what every content creator will tell you right now, because what you want to do is you want to leave space for System 2. Let me tell you a story as to why I came up with these 2 systems. Is that the problem with System 1 is it doesn't tend to be your best content, not the absolute genius content that goes big and brings you in leads. And what you want to do, and what I found, is that when I was creating System 1 content, yes, I was pumping out content, I was batching, I had my content calendar done. The problem was the content was too systemized. And just like a great artist, you want to use divine intervention, those drops from the heavens, to actually go and make your best content. And your best content is made through those divine ideas. You know when you just get that drop and you're like, okay, I've got that idea, I need to implement that content. But you can't do that as the only way that you actually create content. And to make a really, truly magnetic personal brand, you need System 2. And what happened that showed me this is that in October, I posted a video, which was, I just got back from a dinner with someone, and that person actually paid me £500 to go to dinner with them and help them with their personal brand. And I put my phone down, and as soon as I got back from that dinner, I just thought, oh, this is such a good video to make a reel about, because it shows that, I'm worth paying, and it shows that I know what I'm talking about, and it's quite a cool thing, like having started my business 8 months before, to think, okay, actually I can get paid for 1 hour session quickly. So I then found that in the video, and I was like, oh, I then made that video, and that video itself brought in a high score figure for me. I had a client who joined me, he said they saw that video, and that was their decision to buy. But had I not had this system, had I not had System 1, and had the batch making, and known that I didn't have to make that content piece, then I would have missed System 2. And that means that we want to allow the divine ideation, because we have batching that is done. So batching allows us to free up the headspace for divine ideation. What we want to do is, at this point, we want to remove the time between creating and filling. So, as in when I say creating, I mean actually having the idea itself. So we want to shorten this as much as possible. You don't want to think of an idea and having your notes out and put it there, because then it just gets lost. But what happens is if you actually make content where it comes to you, it comes out with so much passion, it comes out with so much authenticity, no matter where you're making your content. You can only have system 2 if you nail system 1. So my guide for you to build the first step of a magnetic personal brand is to be consistent. And you have that by being organized and then using your divine intervention to create the truly magnetic part of the brand. Okay, so that's the first thing I want to talk about. But the second thing is the actual content itself. Because what no one tells you is how to actually go and make the right amount of different parts of content. I remember when I started, and everyone was like, you've got to post loads of content. I was like, what do you mean post loads of content? Am I going to post content about like my life? Am I going to post valuable content? Am I copying other people's builds? I had absolutely no idea. So I'm going to talk you through 2 incredible structures that helped me and all of my clients to grow our personal brands while having a very clear direction as to what content we're making. So the first is what I call the content funnel, which is the 3 types of content that you want to make. So share, teach, and show. And this comes in a funnel shape because of the quantity that you want to be making. So what you want to do is you want to distribute your content as such. So you'll be making 60% share content, I'll explain what these are in a second. You're going to be making 20% teach content, and you're going to be making 20% show content. So my math is good, I'm on this. So 60% share content. What actually is share content? Well, share content, let's give you a pen first. Share content is your values, your life, and the things you do. So that is basically bringing people into your world. What do you actually believe as a person? That is how we create magnetic personal brands that bring people in because they firstly find you as a person. Some of my favorite things that clients have bought from me from is they say that they really like the way that I train. I had someone join a closing call and like, I love your training plan the other day. I was like, how does that make you buy from me for business advice? But actually what happened was he was saying he just connected with me as a person. So firstly you want to make this, because this is what brings people into the world in the first place. Then you want to create some teach content, which is solving problems. The problem with just making share content is you end up being like an influencer. And trust me, I've worked with so many people who have the biggest audiences in the world, but they are simply unable to make any money from their personal brand because all they do is they focus on their values, their life, and their values. Their values, their life, and their beliefs. They don't focus on actually solving problems. Very simply, and again, I'll go into this in more depth later, but very simply, you want to think of a problem that an ICP has, and you want to solve it, and that is your teach videos. Your show videos are very simple. You are showing clients or you. So you are simply showing what it is that you are able to do, and that you are able to do it for more people. So either yourself, like if you're a PT, you're going to be talking about the things that you are actually good at. So have you got a six-pack, have you lost weight, that's the thing that really works for the show content. Or if you work with clients, ideally you're showing that as well, is that you can do the teaching to other people as well. This part is the bottom of the funnel part that really converts people. Again, you can't be making all this content if you're not making this content, because this puts people into the ecosystem, into the funnel in the first place. But secondly, you want to do the teaching and the showing to convert people that you can solve their problems and to show that you can do it for other people. So they are that. So that is how you go and make content. That's how you create content. But the thing that most people come to me, I've worked with 100+ people to scale their personal brands. The thing that everyone asks is, okay, that makes sense, but I get it theoretically, but what are the actual ideation processes behind posting that? And I've come up with a very, very simple decision tree which comes from ideas. And that is what I call the 70-30 split. So the 70-30 split talks about exactly how you're going to allocate your ideas. The 30 split is what I call the Hail Mary. And I don't want to disqualify the Hail Marys at all, but the Hail Marys are basically these things that you just have come to you as a manifestation. You're like, I really want to make a video about that. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that's exactly how creative people go and make art. That's exactly how some of the best influencers operate. They just have ideas and they go and produce them. The problem with Hail Marys is they are not proven methods. Let me break some incredible myths to you right now, is that genuinely you are, is this a woo-woo seminar? I've got my first bit of hate on my live stream, that's actually so good. That is a woo-woo seminar, and I'm trying to sell you a course, by the way. But I won't be trying to sell you anything in this live stream. That's so good. So the 30% is the Hail Marys, and that is the thing where you're like, oh, I really need to make this idea, but the 30% we want to keep to a minimum. Because the thing that I want to break as a myth for you right now, that so many people actually think is like this secret of content. If you pay for a content course, the one thing you're going to actually, Sam, that's so funny. Hey Sam, I'm talking to you about content creation, you know this stuff where it sounds exciting, by the way. So if you want to, that's so funny, I missed your first name. So what you want to do is, if you're making this 70% part of content, you want to split this into two things. And that is copying. Let me start again. So the 70% part of content is quite simply copying. That is what the content gurus will not tell you. Is that every single person that I know personally who makes content copies their posts. And my best performing video is the exact same as well. What I did is I found this girl called Lydia who made a post. She's like a micro influencer in London, and she made a post about, it's like things they don't tell you when you leave your job, or things they don't tell you when you start running. And I changed it to things they don't tell you when you leave your job. I used the same audio, the same concept, the same text, and then just changed the actual content of the text to fit my niche away from hers. A poor girl took on Instagram who made a video that did really well. I thought it did really well, I went to copy it. What happened? I got 1 million views, I got about 3,000 followers off that reel, and it's all because I copied. So, artists steal. Trust me when I say artists steal. If you're making content and you actually go and are making content off your brain, you're going to struggle to actually hit the algorithm. You want to use inspiration. There are two types of inspiration that work the best. There are others, and there's yours. The problem with just copying other people is you never actually exercise the muscle of doing it yourself. The easiest way to copy content is to actually look at what content works for you, go into the analytics dashboard of your Instagram or your LinkedIn or your YouTube, and see what works and make it again. Fun fact is my top four best performing YouTube videos, 3 of them are pretty much a direct replica of About Leaving the UK. Found a good idea, I copied it. The reason you want to focus on copying your own performing ideas is because your audience has already approved them. If you're copying from someone else's, you don't quite know if the nuance of that person's niche or the way they present themselves online is different to yours, and it might end up meaning that yours doesn't do so well. So firstly, just go back and look at the content that works with us and go and copy it. And that's literally what I did with it. The second is other people's content. Go and actually do something that I call the structured scroll. And this structured scroll is one of my favorite things, because I'm giving you right now on this video the permission to go and scroll on Instagram, LinkedIn, or YouTube. Go and actually look at other people's content and say, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. Every time you see a bit of content, go and put it in your content calendar and make sure that bit of content is something you're replicating. That structured scroll works so incredibly well. So I highly recommend the structured scroll, and for yours, you'll just take the analytics. And by the way, if you are interested in knowing more about how I create content, I created a content box which is literally going to tell you good performing ideas, exactly what you should copy, make you hook, make you click, and you can check that out in the description, and I'll ask your email if you don't mind to send you a newsletter, but at the same time, I'll send you over my AI chatbot creativity. I'll send you over my chatbot for content, and I'll send you over my chatbot to create content for free. And by the way, that is also an offer to anyone watching the live stream as well. So, that is the third thing. The fourth part, that is the second bit. The third part about a magnetic content brand, which actually is the source of this video. This is the thing that no one talks about online, because you've mastered the program because you've mastered making content, you've worked out actually the ideation process, you're banging it out. But the biggest problem that I see when people get to this stage is that they actually don't know how to build trust. I had this problem as well. I was going viral, making videos about leaving my job, leaving the UK. I was getting 2, 3, 5, 10 million views over my social media. But what happened? No one wanted to buy from me. And that is because I've forgotten about the one reason that people actually buy from people in the first place online. And that is by building trust. So looking at exactly how I scale my personal brand the most, I came up with the CAVE framework. And the CAVE framework is the only framework you need in order to turn attention that you've bought from social media into paying customers. And it comes to 3 things. The first is consistency. This is what we spoke about earlier. This is about posting as much as possible. Why is consistency so important? Well, it's because people trust people that they see a lot. They know you're a serious person if you're constantly showing up on people's feeds. One of the things that I used to think is that people actually cared about me. But I would have believed in my job. Posting it online, the reel went massive. It got like 150,000 views. It got over 2,000 likes. People were talking about it and people come up to me in the street. And then a few days ago, maybe a year and a half after posting that reel, I got in contact with someone from my old school. And they said to me, how's the job going? And I went, people just don't care about me, do they? Like, no one actually cares. You need to show up as much as possible online as you can. Tell your story over and over and over again. And that is exactly why I believe consistency is one of the most important things you can do. I absolutely love that part as well. And mate, it just clicks with how angry we yeah, that's funny. Exactly. Yeah, we've got a production this time. So consistency is the most important thing in the world. Then it comes to something that so many people in the online space miss. You have all of these people, authenticity. How do you spell authenticity, Amanda? Authenticity. Let's go for that. Apologies, I'm incredibly dyslexic. So authenticity, just like that exact moment, is me being vulnerable, me showing the sides of my personality, me showing things I care about. Because people buy from people, coaches are bought from because of their personality, not because they can do the same thing as other coaches. And that's why you want to be authentic. 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 You want to show the things in your life that you really care about, the highs and the lows. So that's how people build a deep connection with you. That's how you put that share content out there. And when you're posting your Lamborghini from Dubai, you're telling people you know what you're talking about, kind of, I guess. But what you're doing is you're also sacrificing authenticity. And people just won't want to work with you because of you. They'll want to just put you as a service. And at the end of the day, I didn't set my business up to work with people in a transactional way, more of working with great human beings to do great things. And that's exactly why I care about authenticity so much. The second thing is value. Because the other thing, the other thing that people forget is they forget to actually show their mirror. One of the reasons that I'm doing these YouTube videos and these live streams is to show that I deeply know how to build a magnetic personal brand. When you are creating a magnetic personal brand, you need to show that you can do the thing you say you can. You actually know how to solve people's problems. The more you work for free, the more you give content away for free, the more you will get paid to do it. That is my favorite phrase. Work for free and you will get paid to do it, but leave that way. Always take that approach to creating content. Put your best stuff out there and people will want to pay for the implementation. The last thing that is the E of CAVE is evidence. One of the reasons I could scale so quickly is I was very good at creating a testimonial loop. When people did well, I posted their testimonials on my testimonial page. When people got wins, I screenshotted them and put my Instagram I put them on my Instagram story. I made sure that I was as range as possible about showing social proof. Because humans are social creatures and they want to follow herd mentality. And that herd mentality is seeing that other people do things and get results. And that is exactly how you win on social media by doing it like that. And that's exactly how you go and build trust, by showing people that you can actually help them with what you talk about. And the thing that this comes down to is the most important thing in the whole entire world, which is long-form content. Because of the 7 hours a week. People need to spend at least 7 hours with you to want to buy from you. That is the study that Google did, and they showed they need to spend 7 hours. If you think about it, if someone's reading your LinkedIn post or watching your Instagram video, maybe it takes them a minute to 90 seconds, they have to watch quite a lot of content to think, or they have to watch quite a lot of content in order to actually buy from you in the first place. So making sure that you actually do these 7 hours of content means that you can post on long form. My only aim of Instagram or LinkedIn is to drive people to long form. That is either live videos or YouTube videos, getting people to spend a lot of time with me. And that is exactly where the trust is built. And that is how you make a magnetic personal brand. As I said, I've helped over 100 people build their personal brands, and the YouTube goals right now will be showing you the next video that can help you build or scale your online business. So check that video out here, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay? Hey, that was my YouTube video. That was super fun. Wow, we're running out of paper quicker than I thought. But that is how to build a magnetic personal brand. I hope that was useful. Much more importantly now, I want to give you the chance to answer some questions. I've got my beautiful assistant, Amanda. At least get your face in, Amanda, so you need to say hi to the student. But if anyone has any questions about that personal branding, or about how to actually go and create a magnetic personal brand for themselves, or anything about something online business, then this is your chance. We have 20 minutes to do a Q&A. I want to see people in the chat. I want to hear from people. What are you guys up to? What do you think of that? Let me know. I'm keen to hear. Who here is building their personal brand? Who is, who's jamming with you right now? Sam, mate, change your calendar now, you don't know. What do you mean? I assume you mean booking you in, but I don't know what you mean. Let me know. I don't know what you mean. And when you start getting paid, don't let me know you're doing it. Change your bloody calendar. I don't know. Change your calendar. What are you changing it for? What's the date today? Let's put it check. I was like, what are you on about? I knew we'd end up having to change that every single time. Someone like Sam and someone has mentioned it that we needed to. The 25th of February is the Wednesday. I'm going to have to set a reminder up to make sure that I change that every single time now. That's so funny. Cool. Okay, any questions? What I'm going to do is I'm going to jam. You do not. I'm also going to jam on maybe the Instagram as well. Let me look. Okay? Yeah. What are we rocking and rolling on sound? Is it on mono? Can you hear me? Testing. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking. For those who've watched the personal brand, how is that? Good personal brand wise? Good personal brand wise? Good sound wise? Nice. Yeah, we're good. Sweet. Come say hi in the chat. I'm gonna give myself a little Instagram live. Can I just make that feature up for a second? I'm just gonna top up my phone, watch out. Let me know if you guys are in the chat. Let's go live and use that as well. Sweet. Seems good. What do you think about creators? Hey Ethan, how are you? What do you think about creators having a big difference in who they appear to online versus real life? Is there a big difference? Is there online versus real life? It's so funny, like, honestly, the amount of people that I meet online, I'm just like, I meet them in person, I know their online persona, they're so different, like how they present online. But there's such a problem to this. Like, I know that's not quite what we're asking. the problem that I have with this really is that the effectively the issue with being a different person online as you are in person is that you have to put a mask on every single time you make content, or reverse, if you're a different person, you have to put a mask on every time you are like presenting yourself online, and it's so exhausting. Like I hate to feel that someone met me and then you're like one thing, and then every single time I have to make content, I go on and I'm just like, oh my god, now I've got to go make content. I've got to like type myself up. My favourite thing about being live and doing this is I want to be the exact same person that I am all the time. And one of my favourite things that people say to me is like, oh, you're really exactly the same as I see you online. But what do you think about clip? And actually, first I think it's exhausting. And secondly, especially if you're selling a service, and I don't know what you're actually selling, but if you are selling like a service that helps people, then the biggest problem with like being different is that people are going to be disappointed when they actually work with you. Because, and I've definitely experienced this with people, is that I pay to work with them, I expect one thing, and then I meet them and I'm like, oh, you're not the sort of like bubbly person that I thought you were on content, or you're not the knowledgeable person that I see on content. So it is such a killer of brands, it is such a killer of long-term business and retention if you're different. And then the better point is people who are just different online to in person, it's the worst in the world because you just don't really like them. And why do you want to be different? Isn't the whole point to be making personal brands and being authentic with our personal brands because we believe that the thing we can do and the thing that the person we are is the person who can help people. So yeah, that's my view. Hopefully that's useful. I'm also on Instagram, so fire any questions. Instagram, I'm live streaming here for a little bit. I'm also over on YouTube, but I'm very, like I'm asking questions on both YouTube and Instagram, but jump over to YouTube because I'm going to be dropping some value on there for YouTube video, and we're also going to be doing some live Q&A from there as well. We'll say when I met you, you seem like the same person, but when it's like you're aware that not a lot changes going on, something can make you see. Yeah, and that's so fair. That's the thing. I think one of the things that changes slightly with the camera, you see like the same person, but when the camera first comes on, you're aware of it, and not a lot changes. Yeah, and that's exactly what I found is that the one thing you do need to change, which is frustrating, is you have to hook people in. And that's the only thing that I felt myself change, and like I think sounds for a lot of that is like when I was filming my hooks, you have to like sell a little bit, of course. So yeah, that is definitely true. But yeah, the trigger mongers, they're worse than the OnlyFans guys. Oh my god. The OnlyFans like management people, they are just an absolute nightmare. Anyway, enough about OnlyFans. Good to see everyone on there. Hey, now I'm finding the whole pricing knowledge thing about actually cycled. It's the old stuff that's dying or the new stuff today. Tell me more. I'm keen to hear what you mean by that. Like, when you say pricing outreach thing, psychological word, do you mean reaching out to people and give me a bit more context on that? I'm super happy to answer that question. Yeah, super happy to answer that question. What's up, team? Ali, good to see you. Lewis, good to see you as well, my friend. But yeah, Alex, give me a bit of context on that. I'm happy to answer your question, my friend. And yeah, feel free to put in. We've got the next 20 minutes to ask or to do any questions you guys want. So I'm happy to answer anything you have, personal branding-wise, anything about creating content, anything about building your online offer, about scaling, about my offer, about what I do, how we make money. I'm happy to answer. If you're on Instagram, I'd recommend jumping over to YouTube. I have more ability to show you things on YouTube because of the fact that I am streaming with this camera. I've got like loads of paper and pens and stuff, and so jumping over there thing is whatever I feel forward with my skill. It's such a good question, mate. It's like, in terms of actually creating an offer where you can charge that much, firstly, like, I would recommend charging a lot more money than that. And that's because you're solving a unique problem for someone. And the more unique that problem is for someone, the more they're going to pay you for the help. So, yes, you might feel like a fraud at that price. But, trust me, you will increase your price. Maybe the most useful bit of advice I can give you with this is, if you don't feel comfortable charging 500 or 1,000, then just charge less. And then what you'll find is, let's say you feel uncomfortable charging $500. If you then go and charge, let's say $200, like whatever you feel super comfortable with charging, just go and charge that and just like help 3 people for $200. What you'll find is you'll be like, alright, the amount of work I have to do and the result you got from me just feels like I need to be charging more. And my prices continually increase by just like seeing where my price is at, thinking, does this feel like I'm over-delivering to people? Does this feel like the right price? And if it doesn't feel like the right price, I feel like I can charge more, then I just increase it. And every single time I've increased it, I then end up having basically the same thing happen to me, which is, okay, like, I need to increase my price, I need to increase my price. It's a case of building brands alongside pricing, and as you do that, you quickly get bigger and bigger. And then when I was at Mastermind the other day, I found out some guy's group program was $50,000. And I was just like, it's just like $50,000. But the only reason he can do it is because he's literally like earned the ability to do that with his brand. So start low and then increase your price bit by bit. That's the easiest way to do it. And also, like, you will find that you're doing not enough work for that much money. And you're definitely not for it. I think we both know. We'll chat a bit at the end. I think we both know you're all told. Cool. Appreciate that, Alex. Luke, any advice on speeding up the sales cycle, faster conversion, faster build up, faster trust? Okay, this is so interesting. So, to increase the sales cycle, you want, everything I think about to increase the sales cycle is that how do I increase the amount of time someone spends with me? So, the options we've got for that is firstly, create more content, because the more content you have, the more they're going to be pounded by your content, which means they're going to end up converting at some point. The second is make a longer content that they watch. So you've got more short-form content, longer content, so sending them to YouTube videos. It's very, very hard to convert anybody, even if they watch 5 or 6 videos. The 7-hour rule is the rule that Google has that people buy after watching about 7 hours of content. It's so hard to basically get people to buy off just short-form content. So make sure you're doing the 7-hour rule, which is getting people to watch that, and that's by live streaming, like in YouTube, getting people to watch more of your content. And the third option you have is by texting and DMing people right at the start. The fourth option is ads, but in general, the third thing is to increase the amount of time someone spends with you in the DMs. My favorite conversion tool for anyone who's like building up a business is the roadmap call, is the audit call. It's basically giving someone the offer to speak to you at the start and to hear what you have to say and get some help from you. And then what happened at the end of all my audit calls is that I can do 20, 30 minutes value in someone's business and then turn around and go, how can I work with you? I need to know what you're talking about because you know so much about it. So those are 3 ways that I do it. Post more content, post longer content, or use DMs, and then 4 kind of bonus is that 3 roadmap call. Works like a treat. Cool. Good to see people in both Instagram and YouTube. Yeah. Get out of it. I'll let Pete and Sam talk to each other on Instagram. Cool. Got a few more minutes for question and answers. So far over any questions that you do have about your offer, about growing your offer, about personal branding. I will start drawing. I need another good YouTube question, and then I will definitely start drawing. Get the iPad out. You should definitely get the iPad out. I think the thing that people mistake a lot with I think one of the things that people mistake a lot with posting short-form content is that they mistake the reason why you're doing it. Like, why are you posting short-form content? Because I used to post a lot of short-form content. It's the only thing I cared about. And then I realised that actually my job of short-form content was to take people and win people's attention to get them to watch my long-form content. And then every single client that buys from me is just tells me that they bought the quality of my long-form content because of the value they see over a long period of time. So that would be what I recommend to you, is just getting the long-form attention quickly. It's very hard to build a long-form audience to start with, but it is very easy to drive a short-form audience to long-form. All you need to do is get someone's attention in DMs and then basically get them to your long-form video. Works so nicely. How are you? I'm very well, mate. How are you? Good to see you. good to see everyone over Instagram. If anyone has any questions, please fire in, either on the professional video. I love when I get pitched on these live streams. If you're a professional video editor, and if you are anyone who's trying to win anyone's business, the best way to win business is to go and find something that someone's already doing and do it better, and basically teach them how to do it. So go into someone's ecosystem, their reels, if you're an editor, if you're doing if you're a freelancer, if you're somebody who's going to help coach people, basically show them you can do the thing before you pitch for someone. It's the easiest way to win clients that way. Basically what I do as well, one of my outreach techniques where I started growing this business was outreach to people saying nice content and then sending them a whole new video breaking down why people so I can get more views. That works really well. So I recommend that as a tactic. Works well. Good to see everybody. Keep asking your questions. Good to hear, Alex. Yeah, the offer that Alex says on Instagram, he says, building my offer out at the moment was using GPT within the language to sketch out content. Yeah, I think that's the easiest way to do it. Honestly, I see a lot of people struggle with this. I think the easiest thing is just to find a very easy framework and just use that to build an offer. That's the easiest way. GPT is good, but the problem is that GPT, everything because it's only using information that's already out there. So the problem is it's going to effectively streamline everything to the same. So you're not going to come up with something that's market winning or different in the market. It's going to basically create the same kind of AI junk that it already does. So be careful with using the GPT to do that. Again, the easiest way to think is who have you worked with, what do they like, what do they not like, and then build that offer around one or two ICP, knowing that if you put around one or two people, they'll end up being very, very appreciated by lots and lots of more people. So yeah, that's the best way to build your offer. But Alex, message me on Instagram if you wanna support on that offer part. I think we'll see that talking to the team soon, which is cool. Yeah, the other questions on that over there. Cool. Guys, thanks for joining. 9 YouTube viewers. I want to see who are on YouTube. Put your hand up if you're chilling over on YouTube. Hey, great. No, you're all good. You're all good. I appreciate that. Someone on my Instagram, so I don't know your first name, it's like A, it's on Instagram, is apologising for a comment. No, you're all good, mate. I took it badly, but I don't think you meant it, so it's all good. It happens, it's social media. No worries, Alex, I appreciate it. Yeah, looking forward to hearing how cool that is. What do I do? So, people always ask me what I do, and in a very simple term, I use a system that I have, which I'm going to show you on a bit of paper, to basically create an ecosystem that allows you to turn the attention you have into traffic and paid clients. So let me show you exactly what that looks like. So the first thing we do is we generate as much traffic as possible. So we generate as much traffic as possible. And by the way, if you're on Instagram, you're not seeing this. But to generate traffic is so simple, because all you want to do, I'll kind of explain to you how to do about it. But to generate as much traffic as possible, what you want to do is the simplest tactic, the simplest tactic for that is create as much organic content as possible, and then turn it into boosters. So literally just put paid spend behind it. That is the simplest way. And I saw Hormozy the other day talk about that, which is he basically has got the same team for his ads and his organic, but if he finds that the best organic content is the best organic content is the best performing content as ads. And you don't even need to necessarily put CTA to this, CTA to this. You can literally just say, okay, this content works and boost it. So that is one of the easiest things that works for creating content. So I help people with that part of content, and then I help people with building trust. We do that via our ecosystem model, which is basically getting people to move around as quickly as possible. Just show Instagram with all this. So let me show you Instagram. So Instagram, this is the organic and the boosted. This is the ecosystem. Again, it's nothing too fancy. It's just what the model looks like. The best thing about this is and there's a lot of tips I call reserve here for private clients. But the best thing about the way that this works is it very simply just means that you just want to increase the velocity that people see your content. And this is basically using the ecosystem rules to hit 7 hours instead of to bring the velocity in 7 hours. So that's the easiest way to run, honestly. You just post as much as possible to hit the 7 hours. And the real key to that is just long-form content. Honestly, long-form content is the absolute game changer. Long-form content changed my life. I'm so happy that I accidentally started posting long-form content because it literally means that people would join my course and be like, I've watched you for 6 hours or 5 hours. I know where you live, what you're up to, what you're interested in. I know what your dog's middle name is, all that stuff. And that was only because of posting long-form content. Winning attention on short form and long form. And then you want to convert people. And this is, by the way, whoever asks me what I do, this is basically exactly what I help people with. We've got tons and tons of cool techniques for converting people. If you are interested in a few of them, then I've got a sheet that tells a few cool things we do. We actually call it the cash injection challenge, which is a 25-day challenge, which is basically when people join us. We've got all these tips and tricks, which basically make you invest in that before you even got on with the program and started building. So that works really nicely as well. So I can send you that. If you just DM me on Instagram, you can find that either on my Instagram or if you're on the Instagram, you can find that. And then we convert. That's how we convert people. That's how you convert people. That's how you offer you have. And then a sales system. Then we turn it into killer delivery and we go from there. So that is what I do. That's kind of what I help people with. Again, there's 50 hours of video modules and all that sort of thing in the library, but that's a very good brief. I hope that answers your question. Let's see if I missed any questions. Ethan, good to see you, mate. Good to see you on the live. Just so you know, on Instagram, I'm also over on YouTube, where you can see this top-down camera. You can also check out me rocking the nice studio, and it's much easier to answer your questions over there. Plus, I'm going to be jumping on to do some more value-based videos on YouTube, as well as also having some live guests in a few hours' time, which is cool. But yeah, fire over any questions for those who are joining me on Instagram or YouTube. What do you have? Use this as a great time to ask them anything you know or want to know about your offer, anything about me, anything about what I do. Sam asks, how do you actually stumble and make long-form content and you do everything with a purpose? I didn't do everything with a purpose. That is one thing that I didn't do. The first YouTube video I made, and you can literally scroll back to my YouTube, was me going, I really like making content. It's really fun, but I hate being super scripty and super wordy with my short-form content. I've got to make sure every syllable is perfect. So I was like, where can I just yap? And I was like, well, I don't have any paying to yap yet. So I'm going to yap on a long-form channel. And I was like, oh, YouTube is the place. So I just went and made a YouTube video. My first 2 YouTube videos were me going, put the camera down, and just chat shit to the YouTube camera. I think I talked about a breakup I was going through, about your friends questioning what you're into, really random topics. Then my third video was about Danish happiness, and that is still one of my best performing videos. Or it did pretty well to start with, it's just so funny. That video did really well. And then I was and then I started moving into personal branding. But I just fell into making long form. So how do I speak more in front of the camera? Because I love the idea of just speaking and sharing. And then I developed the habit of just being like, okay, I really enjoy that, so I'm just getting more and more of it. And then I was like, well, okay, if I've made a short form video about how to make a good hook, then I might as well make a long form video about it. And then that's how the YouTube actually started. Yeah. The book of Hyde. Please go and look at my old YouTube videos. They are so funny. It's and the other thing is the lighting's awful. Yeah, so funny. Please go and look at it, Sam. It's funny. To create hello my friend. To create a community and potentially convert, I'm super interested in building a community of individuals who resonate with my story because they have similar stories. Okay, that's awesome, mate. I missed the first one. Soul jumping on a bit late. they actually met you at the gym earlier. Oh, shit, right, good to see you. How are you? A question I have is if your content is based on building identity and cultivating best habits, how and when would you pivot to create a community and potentially convert? Okay, so I think thinking about creating an offer is like from the simplest of like because the community at the end of the day is an offer, it's just a delivery mechanism for that. So it's just a way that you present it, but every thing that you build or sell to people, especially in the online space, is if we boil it down to super, like the most first principles thing possible, is you take someone from point A and take them to point B. So that is like the simplest way that I can describe it. So what I would do is I would pinpoint exactly where that specific person is that you want to help. Maybe it was you 3 years ago, maybe it's like, I don't know, someone that you helped in the past. That is person A, and I want you to study that person as intensely as possible to know, okay, this is what makes them tick, this is what they're trying to improve, and then you're like, okay, where do they want to go? So for example, I help people who want to grow their online businesses, who want to gain remote freedom. Well, actually, let's talk about the person where they are right now, which is they're probably doing something they're not super fulfilled by, they want to be able to travel the world, and they want to be able to provide their family. Very like simple description. And I take them and I make them, like I package up their offer and teach them how to create good content and sell and all that sort of thing. And the point B is so that they can travel the world and be able to spend more time with their family and make their own money. That's like the transition that I do. So very simple way to do. You need to work out what you're going to do in your community that takes A to point B. And that is the easy way to do it. And honestly, like, the simple solve to all of this is literally just go and make content about it. Because you will find more and more people that end up coming to you being like, this is exactly what I want to help with. So make content about person A and solving person A's problem, and then talk about how you're B and you've made a better life. And that offer itself, that content about A and talking about getting to point B, will build a big enough community in order to make money from it. That's how I answer it. Hope that was useful. And good to see you at the gym today, or today. It's cool. We actually spoke about, for anyone who's interested, we spoke about how interesting like FaceTime content like this is. And I think it's so good at building like an authentic piece. The amount of people I know who have closed off those reels and have like come to me and said, oh, actually it was I came because I saw your story, but the thing that I really liked was you just talking authentically. So that's my favourite thing. Hey, Fred, hope you're well, my friend. Yeah, I like it. I appreciate it. I saw your workshop. I thought it was a cool thing as well. I'm trying to free stuff, but we'll see how it goes. Hope you're well, my friend. But yeah, good meeting you as well. I think I'm going to pronounce your name wrong, so I want to make sure I get your name right. But hello. Okay. Oh, yeah, right. Good to meet you, Alex. It's cool to meet you at the gym. Cool. So guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to run with another big drop of value, which is talking through basically how we've gained a 78% retention rate on our product, which is so cool. Like I did the maths the other day. I probably should have done the maths earlier, but it's so cool to have that 78% because it was exactly what I wanted to build. Which I only care about making the clients win and the clients happy. So that was really cool. Amanda, that's very good. My glamorous assistant Amanda has promised me. This is great. I appreciate you, man. Please take some for yourself as well. If you're going to do a 4-hour live stream, I highly recommend taking steps. I've never had more respect for someone than Hormozy who did like 10 hours in a row. I think you might have it. So, you know, there is like 30 calories in per 100. How crazy is that? Per 100 grams. Good stuff. Someone told me that the other day, and I was like, I love that. Any more questions before I jump into the next piece about client results, about helping people, how do we get such good results in our program? How have I got a 78% retention rate? What do we do? I'm going to jump into that into 1 second, but before that, I see there's quite a lot of people on both streams, so I want to make sure that if you have any questions, I'll answer them before I go in the gap for like 20 minutes. And then just so everyone knows the plan, my plan is another 50 minutes, a bit of value, a bit of Q&A, and we've got 2 very exciting guests coming, which is cool. What kind, Ethan asked on YouTube, what kind of online businesses do you think are growing right now in the event of AI trying to take over? So, it's a really interesting question. I think, in general, AI is only helpful for online businesses. I don't think it replaces much, and that is, and I'll explain why. Firstly, let's talk about coaching consultants. You're not actually doing the work for people as much as advising them. And I found that, in general, AI is so helpful to actually deliver a certain part of the solution to someone while maintaining the perfect life. Because a great example of this is one of my clients, maybe like 7-8 months ago, came to me and was like, I literally don't know what to do about quitting my, it's like on a really successful offer. He's like, I don't know what to do about quitting my really successful offer to start to go all in on this business. AI can never help you out there. That is such a nuanced, variable-ridden question that I have to think about all of my past experience, take a lot of emotional intelligence to answer that question. AI can never help you with that. But what AI could help us with is this content good? Is this hook good? Is this a good idea? So to answer your question, Ethan, I have in general just seen it actually, AI improve the personalization and actually the amount you can charge for personalized services. Because the real dial movers are the big questions that AI just comes up with. So that's what I'm seeing right now, and I can name multiple times where I am seeing that is the thing that helps the most, is basically not have an AI solution for certain things and then have a little high-touch personalizing for others. So in the done for you space, so agency space, a great place is using AI because I know my ads agency that I work with, I know that they use AI for a load of things that we do, and I don't care. As long as they get the thing done, then they can use AI. So it's just helping people work less and make the same amount. I'm not going to pay them any less because they're using AI. All I care about is are they helping me with the thing that I need help with. So that's really cool. AI is great. I've literally I'm so excited about it. I got playing with it this morning. We've got an AI chatbot which has got all of my information in, every live stream that I've done, every Instagram video, every YouTube video. It automatically puts every YouTube video and Instagram video that I post into this chatbot. Every 24 hours it refreshes, and it's on Telegram, and you can text it, and it is so good. I'm actually so excited for it. It costs me a lot of money, but it's so good, and it gives you access to my whole brain and anything I've ever said. And that's great, because that allows clients to have 24/7 access to me for questions that I don't need to be there to answer. I'm going to give the same answer to them as is this hook good as my AI is. That is something that AI can solve in 10 seconds for clients. So I'm very excited about that. And it gives you more time to actually have the deep, meaningful conversations that move towards mindset, which is the actual thing that works with our businesses. So even that's my little rant about AI, why I think AI is good. That was cool. Okay. Let me know if you have any other questions, anyway. I'm keen to finish eating my berries. Probably that I've been yapping for a good hour and 15 minutes already. But I'm going to film or show you how to do another YouTube video, which is about how to increase client retention. I'll give 30 more seconds if anyone's got any more questions. Let me eat my berries. And then jump over to talking about service delivery. But there's a big reason I talk about that. Thank you, buddy. It's incredible. It's great. Maybe I just sit here and go live all the time. I just get all the food possibly. And then like a little performing monkey here. Cool. Alright, well, why don't I'm going to rock on this. Just so you know, Instagram, I'm going to be rocking this. But I'm going to be actually, let's put that on the side, let's have much stuff there. I'm going to be rocking on, good to see you, Remy. I'm going to be rocking on my laptop screen here on YouTube, and YouTube, I'm going to be sharing my actual screen, which is cool. I've disconnected it out now. That's what happens when I get moving. I need to just bring the laptop over to me, Amanda. So, Perfect. Cool. YouTube, I'm going to be rocking and rolling on there. I'm going to be showing you my screen, which is cool. is Amanda's just telling me off for breaking his setup. The thing I'm going to be talking about though, and if you are watching, I see a few people understand, if you are watching, just jump over to YouTube now. So we're talking about basically how I designed my whole delivery system to enforce a phrase that I call results, sales pay for dinner, results pay for time. It's my favourite phrase. Like I came up with it, I came up with it one time and I was like, this is so good, because it actually encapsulates, like, you get a sale and you're like, oh, life is so good, like, oh, I'm going to be able to buy this thing, I'm going to be able to treat this person, it's a very good goal, man. It's a very monetary goal, but the thing that I love is, like, I've seen my results just, like, change the state of my business. And I want to talk to you about how I think that's happened, because having had some bad experiences in people's mentorship before, wanted to effectively guarantee that I was going to end up basically guarantee that I was going to end up with a business that works and a business that helps people. And by accidentally focusing on that, I ended up scaling very quickly, which is cool. Are we rocking and rolling, brother? Perfect. Sick. Cool. So again, if you're joining on Instagram, I'm jamming on YouTube, so come check me out on YouTube. You can just type in my name, but you'll get all the content anyway if you're out and about and you don't want to go on YouTube. Okay. So, you're going to see me filming a live YouTube here as well, which is cool. So, sales pay for dinner, results pay for retirement. That is exactly how I scaled a $500,000 business. No, let me try this again. Okay. Most online business owners are building their businesses completely wrong. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly why I believe I scaled 2 six-figure months in just my first year of business. It's because I didn't focus on marketing, I didn't focus on sales, I focused on one thing, building the best product in the info space. And I'm going to explain to you exactly how I've gained a 78% retention rate from my clients, exactly how you can build an incredible product that makes people stay for longer. And I'm going to tell you exactly how you can, and in this video I'm going to tell you exactly how you can build a product that not only gets clients great results, but makes you more money at the same time. I'm going to go through exactly how you can think about your business in a completely different way, give you actionable takeaways on what to do, and give you some very useful free stuff as well. We're going to be talking about intro to me, what business owners get wrong, guiding principles of creating an incredible program, 5 actionable steps, a lot of free stuff, and then I can't talk about it in the YouTube video. Okay, let's go back to the structure. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about exactly how you can think about your business in a completely different way, which is actually going to make you more money, give you actionable takeaways, give you some very useful free stuff, and give you some very useful free stuff as well. So one thing I want you to ask, cool, this is why I should have edited this first. So one thing that I want you to think about is how much of your day do you think about results or products as a percentage? Because most people I ask, they think about their results of their product for 20% or 30% of their time. The rest they think about how can I scale, how can I make more money, how can I do more marketing, make more content. The problem with that is that you are not focusing on the right thing. I'm going to make a very clear argument in this video is that if you do reallocate your time, you will pay and make more money. So firstly, my name's Sol, and I was a UK-born classic pathway to good school, good uni, corporate job. I thought I had made it. I went on a trip to Bali and I found people who were happy, healthy, rich and free. And that's not the life that I was going to be in for if I was doing my corporate job. So what I did is I built a content coaching business and transitioned that into a consulting business. We've done 2 six-figure months. I've done over $500,000 in cash collected in just my first year of business. But more importantly, I've helped 100+ experts build and scale fun and profitable online business as well. And I did it all without becoming a guru. This was me in my corporate job, and this is me now spending time in Bali and in other cool places, spending great time with my clients, hosting masterminds around the world, and most importantly, spending loads of time with my family at the same time as well. My mission is to help 10,000 experts use exactly what they know to scale and fund a profitable business. But you're probably wondering, why did I scale so quickly? Why did I take a completely new offer only 13 months ago and make $533,000? Well, my answer to you is this. Sales pay for dinner, results pay for retirement. And you can see some of the messages that I get from, and you can see some of the messages that I actually get from people. Someone said, you're not probably going to answer this, but I'd like you to know what you charge for coaching. You seem to churn out constant winners. Told you yesterday, this is my favourite one, that this person paid to go and see the masterminds on the top info guys in Bali. Mine was the best, that was funny. And, people changing my life, people talk about me changing their lives. One of my clients, Ashley, saying that I've changed deeply, I've changed her life. That is what I mean. And what I mean by that is that I focus on results. Let me tell you exactly why most business owners go wrong and why I don't blame you at all. It's because most people buy because they're going from A to B. They want to go from one position to another. And your offer increases the chance of them getting there. The results are the evidence that the chances are high. So imagine if every single client that works with you achieved B. It would be a no-brainer to work. You think about that. If every single client that joins your program was guaranteed to get the result, you could literally say there is 0% chance that you won't get the result you want, you would literally make so much money and build an incredible business because you would be so good at what you do that of course people would pay because they're guaranteed to get the result. So what I hear business owners getting wrong all the time is you need to make better content. No one is buying on my sales calls. No, I need to chart, do I need to change my funnel? Do I need to stack my closer? And the online business world has convinced us that we need to do these things. You need to get really good at generating traffic, practice sales reps after sales reps. That's the things you need to focus on. But the easiest way to make money for your business, and the reason that I have been able to scale so quickly, is using the 3 easiest, cheapest, and best ways to generate cash for my business. And that is word of mouth, referral leads, and renewals. And what I mean by word of mouth is I mean people telling good things about me to other people. By referral leads, I mean people literally saying to someone, here is Sol, why don't I introduce you to him? And renewals are clients staying on them. As I said, I've got a 78% renewal rate, which is something I'm so proud of because it means that I'm doing something right. One of my friends who lives in Dubai is actually making $100,000 a month by doing 0 marketing. What you need to ask yourself is how is he able to do this? Well, the reason he's able to do it is because his product is so goddamn good that he doesn't need to do any marketing because so many people work with him and then they work with him again and they work with him again. Or so many people end up telling their friends how good he is. He never posts a bit of content in his life and he makes more money than most of us who are probably watching right now, which is cool. So am I saying to focus 0 energy on acquisition and getting clients in marketing and sales? No, I'm not saying that. I would just like you to watch this video and I'd like you to rebalance your priorities. Focusing all my time on this has yielded the following. The quickest scale on any online business owner I know. Sorry, I know that sounds arrogant, but that is true. The second is the 78% renewal rate, which working with beginners and people who are starting, building, scaling their offers is pretty high. It's an industry high. It's on the high end in the industry. I've hosted 3 masterminds around the world that are all high ticket. I've worked 4 hours a day for the last 5 months, to be completely honest. And more importantly, I get these messages. And you can see in a few of these here, total revenue across the biz for the month, 17K, 19K cash collected, 5,500, which was a long time ago. You can literally scroll and see all this post. But what you're seeing here is all the wins that we get in our community channel. And that is because sales pay for dinner, results pay for time. But what I want to do is I want to tell you exactly how you can think about this differently to actually scale your business. Because the first thing you want to do is get out of the linear business. Because there are 2 types. The first is the linear business, and the second is the funnel business. And in the linear business, your client joins, they work with you, and then a new client joins, and they work with you as well. You find a client, they work with you, you find another client, they work with you. And trust me, that's how I started my business. I used to just think, how am I going to get the next client? And then I thought about something different, which is called the flywheel business model. And this works in a different way. If a client joins your program, your service, anyone pays you for something, you focus all your time and energy on getting them absolutely incredible results. So you focus all your time here. And then you record a testimonial where someone gets incredible results. Then what you do is you tell your network, they tell their network, the prospect, someone else in your audience sees your testimonials, or someone refers you. And then what happens is, using all of these things, another client joins. And then the cycle repeats itself over and over and over again. The reason I wanted to show this flywheel business model is that because if you focus on getting amazing results from your clients, that is all you need to do in order to find more clients. Just like my friend in Dubai who's making $100,000 every single month by just getting amazing results, you use the flywheel model because it creates compounding assets. You get better reputation, you get great case studies, you get word of mouth, and you constantly get renewals like sales. Instead of chasing a client every single month, what you end up doing is living a great life where you change people's lives and people come to you. I want to explain to you the theory behind actually getting results before I then actually talk to you about the actual steps that you can use to apply to your business that you're either starting or growing in order to get incredible results. The first thing you want to think of is your ICP, the person you are actually trying to create a business for, or the person. So the first thing you want to think of is the ICP, and that is the person you're trying to sell to. The product state they're in, the brief that they want to go to, and the information that you're actually selling to. What does the information look like, and what are you doing to get them from current state in order to dream state? Then, using this dream state, you've defined the goal they want to get to. You can use an onboarding form or an onboarding call to ask these questions. Then what you want to do is define the input. You want to work out what steps it takes for someone to get from current state all the way to dream state. What do they actually have to do? You create a roadmap, you use one-on-ones, use a private messaging channel and group calls and community to help people with the inputs in order to get to their dream state. And then you hold those inputs to account. And that is what I call the information times accountability framework. You are applying information with accountability in order to get people results. This is the input graph. All of these inputs lead to a micro goal. So for example, if this is about losing weight, it would be about eating 200 calories. Let's say eating 500 calories a meal. That micro goal means you're in a calorie deficit. This would be buying a new pair of trainers, getting a gym membership. This would be going to the gym every week. And if you eat a certain amount of in the calorie deficit and you go to the gym every week, you will achieve the goal, which is the lose weight. That is how the framework works. And it's surprising me how the online business owners don't even do this. They don't even spend time thinking about the actual roadmap that their clients need to go on. So, this is the little source that you've been waiting for, which is the actual actionable steps that I've used and implemented in my program to get that 78% client retention rate. And remember, this is not about just being able to say that you're really good with clients. This literally will make you more money, and it will mean in your marketing and your sales process becomes so much easier. Okay, let's talk about step number one, which is take your product more seriously. Financially actually commit to taking your product seriously. Pay money to help things. Pay money to get things built, like AI chatbots, or to improve your delivery, or to get coaches into your program. Commit actual time every week to reviewing your program and interview your clients. Every 2 months, we send a survey to all of our clients, ask them what they do and they don't like about our program, and that allows us to iterate at every single point. So actually commit to take it more seriously. Second is onboarding flow. It is so important that when someone joins, they have confirmed they've made the right decision. You want to create complete clarity when people join, and we found in the first 7 days, you really decide how much someone actually believes they make a good purchase. So make sure you leave a lasting impression for those first 7 days, and your overall experience will come really much better. Create the ability to get quick wins in that onboarding flow as well. We have a 25-day cash injection challenge, which allows us to basically say to people, these are the ways you're going to make your investment back in the first 35 days, and it works incredibly well. So that is the onboarding flow. If you want a copy of that onboarding flow, by the way, just drop a message to me on Instagram, and I will send you a few of our quick wins that you use to get people incredible results within the first few days. So, step number 3 is we break down cases. So what you want to do is you want to create a very clear roadmap step by step. And you want to do that by helping people get to their goal quicker. So what I did is I realized that a lot of people are struggling to get their first content written. They're struggling to actually make content that went big to start with. A lot of people needed help in that way. So I created what I call the Viral Reels template list, which is basically a list of all the reels I know perform really well in various niches that allow people to basically turn their ideas into things that will go big. And people got quick wins. Within the first few days of joining, they automatically get a reel that hits the algorithm. And while it doesn't get them to their end result, it allows them to feel like they're making progress. So make sure that you create a very clear roadmap for people and give people quick wins as well while you're doing that as well. The second thing is you want to create a very clear system. I want to show you some of these systems that we have. Very briefly, we have the Client Success Hub, where people join up and they basically get access to the AI army, like the Media Hub, places to store documents, task lists, onboarding checklists. Basically create a system that allows people to know that they're going to get the results and they feel like they've purchased a genuine product. The other system that we help people with is an accountability system. We want to make sure that they actually have the things that they need. So within the task tracker, they put tasks in there and we go and check that they have done them as well. And we make sure that we monitor all of these things as well to make sure people are in a good place. This is an example client success tracker from another one of my clients who copied it from us or used it from us. And it shows client status, and it means that you basically keep on track with all your clients. So making sure that you are very in the know of the status of all your clients helps. You want to create those rhythms, and every single week we go over this checklist and check are there any clients who need extra support and clients that are having a bit of trouble this week and might need some help. And then action number 5 is create a great way to actually turn this into cash. So create a referral system, make sure that within the first 2 weeks you're actually giving someone an incentive to offer to bring someone else in, and give a chance to create more LTV. So have resales, cross-sells, and downsells. Create stickiness. I have a community offer which people tend to join after they work with me for a significant period one-on-one, and that is just a downsell that allows people to join. People absolutely love the community that I've built, and we go on trips all around the world, and it's awesome. And it's one of the great things about helping people scale online businesses and allowing them to connect with other awesome business owners as well. And that's exactly how I've been able to actually scale our business so quickly, because sales pays for dinner, results pay for time. And thank you very much for taking the time to listen. What I want to offer you for watching this video is a 30-minute free audit call of your whole delivery system. Is this just an opportunity for me to sell to you? No, it's not. It's an opportunity to build trust in the market. This is one of the reasons that I have scaled so quickly, is being able to offer these free calls to you watching this video in order to give you the steps that you need to scale the business that you want to scale. If you book a drive right now, oh, I just come again. Cool, let's get back to that. So, thanks for taking the time to listen. I appreciate you taking the time to listen. This is exactly how I managed to get 78% referral rate and actually scale so quickly. If you're watching this video, then I want to offer you one thing. We are doing 30-minute free audit calls if you've made it this far in the video to reward you and thank you for spending the time watching this video. We are going to go through your whole delivery system, we're going to go through your delivery system and your acquisition method and tell you exactly where you're going wrong. Give you a clear roadmap to improve the process that you need. There's a link in the description. Is this an opportunity for me to just sell to you? No, it's an opportunity for me to build trust in the market and to show that I know what I'm doing as well as my team. And that is exactly what we'll do on the call. You can leave your credit card in the other room. We will only just be seeing if you are a good fit. We will only just be seeing, you can see where I messed up at this point. We will only, because we won't be selling people, that's the actual thing, but it's quite defensive because these lines are like. So what we'll be doing is we'll be mapping out step by step exactly how you can. So what we're doing is mapping out step by step how you can improve your delivery and your acquisition systems. Again, we won't be selling to you in this call in anywhere at all. Leave your credit card in the other room. What we will be doing is dropping free value. If you want to work with us, then it might be a good opportunity for you to understand our systems. But if not, you'll walk away with a ton of free value on scaling your offer. Okay. Good shit. Good stuff. Okay, cool. I've got some more viewers on YouTube. I thought I lost some viewers on Instagram because of that. That's funny. Sweet. I'll get ahead on YouTube. If you're on Instagram, come over and join me on YouTube. Was that interesting to watch, YouTube? How did you find that? Hopefully that was useful. That's like a nice insight into how I go and film my YouTube videos. Again, like some of the background things are quite funny. At the end, I'm trying to sell people on like a roadmap call, which is cool. But yeah, we actually are open, which is cool. We're opening 9 spots for March or for February. So I got the start of March. Sold through already, which is cool. Which is great. But look, if you want a roadmap call, you're watching this and you're welcome to jump over onto one of those calls. They are genuinely so valuable. Even me and my team runs them, and we give you a full step by step on how to watch, on how to scale. Again, you can leave your credit card on. It's not huge, so don't worry about that. Yeah, if you guys have any questions on that, please let me know. Good to see it was useful days. Alex, I appreciate you coming over here. Yeah, it's cool. We can stay on my front camera. Yeah, good to see. How was your call earlier, Alex? I just saw that you had a call earlier this morning. How was that? Tell me more. Was it helpful? Did he give you some good steps? Did you bear anything? This is the best ever. Thank you so much. I saw a video which said like you've gotta make sure that these lives make you feel like you don't feel like you're better than people. Again, very on demand. But good to see some people watching. I saw 11 consistent people watching that, which is really cool. Awesome. What was the steps that he gave you? What did he help you with? I had me putting berries all over my paper. So, what we have now, by the way, is we have like 20 minutes, and then we're looking at what we're going to get. So feel free to join. Feel free to join that. Awesome. I'll tell you what, Alex, do you wanna give me a FaceTime? Why don't we do that? That was so fun. I ended that live, there was definitely still questions on that live. Alex, drop me a message on Instagram if you want to. I've got your chat on Instagram open. Drop me a message on Instagram if you want me to call you. That'd be so fun. Call you, talk through what your next steps are. Absolutely, even like 100%. I would never pretend that we have 100% client success rate. I think that's so important. So many people in the info space really try and like sell the dream of like everyone's gonna be successful. I'm like, no. You're joining this program, my program, to reduce or increase the likelihood of success. And obviously, the increased likelihood of success is considerable, because the increased likelihood of success is considerable because of all the testimonials we get. But the biggest thing that I see people, I think there's two things. The biggest reason that I see people fail is firstly just not following what we tell people. So like literally not saying, okay, this is the thing that, not saying that this is like, they don't do the actions that we tell them to do. So that's like frustrating from our stand, but you can't do anything about that. The way I equate it to is like, imagine you're a PT and you're working with someone and you're helping people lose weight, but when you help people lose weight, like their partner that they're working, that they live with, is like really unhealthy. You could give someone the best meal program, the best mindset advice, best like meal plan, gym plan, everything. And if the person's partner is obsessed with eating donuts and is always bringing donuts into the house, there's not much you can do about it. And that's the thing where it's like, well, I can't control every single variable. So that definitely kills people. And then the second thing is execution. Like that is the second killer. People just don't do things. I am so surprised when people invest into a mentorship and then they don't like execute on them. So it's like, actually follow our advice, and when you say follow, do the things and work quicker. The people who work quicker, the people who are very successful. So yeah, that's my, or not Alex, Ethan, that's my answer to you. Sweet. Cool, I'm going to call Alex. This will be fun. So I'm currently calling Alex. Alex! Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is so cool. I love this. But you're going to have to turn the live stream off, otherwise you're going to see like a map in your hand.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Look.
You're good.
Can you see me? Or?
I can't see you, but don't worry about the visuals because I can't actually stream you guys. I can't stream you to other people, so yeah, let's talk to me. Give me a bit of context as to what I'll give you a chat a bit on Instagram, give me a bit of context as to where you're at and what you're looking to build, right?
Yeah, so I'm teaching guitar at the moment, but I want to do music marketing for music teachers. So I want to do Facebook ads for them to get more inquiries for them to connect to students.
Okay, interesting. You got something come up. Interesting. Okay, cool. So how long have you been teaching guitar for?
I've been playing 20 years. I've been teaching for over 10 years.
Sick. Okay, cool. And what's like stopping the business growth? What do you think is the issue?
In terms of giving the marketing, the music marketing.
Well, look, like I guess my biggest question is like, what is the you want to grow the business, right? So you want to scale.
Yeah, so there's two things. There's the guitar teaching business, which is going pretty well. I can do that pretty well, but then there's the new thing that I want to do, which is do ads for music clients, so doing the marketing for them, which is the new thing. I think the thing that's stopping me is just that first step. I was starting to reach out to people. But it's the psychological part of it, I think.
Well, I guess the question I would ask you, mate, is like, what do you think, if you run ads for people, like, have you got experience doing it before? You've done it for yourself? You've done it for other people before?
I've done it for myself and I've got results doing that.
So is there any reason that you don't think that would work for others?
I think it would. I'm just about to do one for free for someone, but now I'm thinking, I should have set like a low price for that.
I'd say, mate, for right now, whenever I work with people who are starting their offer, the thing is about like just getting confidence and knowing that you can do the thing. So I used to give away free calls to people all the time, but it got to the point where my conviction was so high that I was good, that I ended up just like knowing that I needed to charge a high price. So I wouldn't beat yourself up about going for free, because what it will do for your confidence will be awesome. Like that will stay top.
Can you just give me 1 second? Just going to get the car here.
Take your time, bro. Take your time.
I'm still on this car out.
You're good.
Yeah, I think that's definitely valuable advice. I think it's that confidence thing. I mean, once I can, like you said before, once you're getting the results and you then feel that conviction that you can charge more and all that. Yeah.
That's what you need, mate. But what you need is just to structure their delivery as well as possible so that they get results. And I promise you, mate, you'll be flying because you'll just be sitting there like, okay, I've smashed out of the park for these guys, I've done it for myself as well. And you'll know how much money you've made those people, and then you just charge less than that. And then you're like, well, of course it's worth it because I made them more.
Yeah.
So it's like, my programs and stuff, like, they're not cheap, but at the same time, like, Morgan, one of my clients, made $55,000 last month. So I'm just like, I can justify charging a lot because it's not $55,000. So I can just say to him, look, like, of course, pay me a little bit less than that because we can make you that much money. That's kind of the logic behind it.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, I love how you said before about really focusing on the product. Like, I think that's a big sort of psychological part of it as well, just making sure if you really put in time to the product and you really care about it genuinely, then you're going to have more conviction with charging the client anyway. Like, it's just a piece to the puzzle there.
It is like, you see that what I just spoke about in the last video about the delivery system. Just focus all your time on doing it for that client, and then you'll end up being like, okay, great, I've worked my way in the market.
Yeah.
Sick, brother. Okay, cool. But yeah, Morgan, good to hear Morgan was helpful.
Yeah, he was really good. He was great.
Awesome.
Yeah, I wrote a few documents down, which was good.
Sick. Well, good to hear, my friend. Well, it's been a pleasure. I'll catch up soon and I'll catch you in the DMs.
Yeah, man, it sounds good. I really appreciate it, man.
No worries, mate. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.
See you later, brother. Right. I'll follow it. That's pretty cool, right? What a nice guy. Sweet. That was Alex. So, you've seen that. Any other things that you want to ask? There's like, I see a few more guys chilling, a few more girls and guys chilling. So, yeah, make sure you're asking questions. If not, I'm just going to prepare myself because we have a very cool guest coming in 8 minutes, which is awesome. We're going to break down his whole business. Yes. Well, that's cool. What are you guys working on here who are still in the live stream? Or if you guys just put it in like if you were just listening to my voice. Very funny. Alright, I'm gonna put an Instagram story up. Maybe do that now. Okay, so we are 2 hours into Medical Soul. We've had over 150 people join. We've had about 100 questions at the same time as well, which is so cool. It's been a pleasure answering everyone's stuff, and I've enjoyed it so much. In a few minutes, we will have Paddy coming in. He's got 4,000 Instagram followers. He's looking to get help with monetizing his audience. He's currently a PT. And then we also watching me live in the flesh here. So, Best Course has gone very well. We are 2 hours into the live stream so far. You can see the setup behind me here. We have over 150 people joining, about 100 questions, which means I have even been calling people and talking to them about their problems. I now have 2 hours more, 2 very cool guests, one PT with 400,000 followers, and also an agency owner making 10 to 20k with scale. If you want to check it out now on YouTube. I'll be here for the next 2 hours, and if not, ask me some questions, and I will fire over them at some point. I messed up my last part. Medical Soul is going so well. We are 2 hours in. You can see the setup here. We've had about 150 people join over Instagram and YouTube. I had almost 100 questions, I'd say. It's been very fun. I even called someone and gave them some help with their business as well. So if you want to join now, we're still going for 2 more hours. We are doing an interview with someone with 400,000 Instagram followers with a PT, wants to turn his audience into more of a consistent revenue stream, and then an agency owner making 20k a month who wants to scale. So check that on YouTube if it's still up, and if not, thank you to everyone who joined. That's it. These are fun. I'm enjoying it a lot. Cool. Ethan, hey. When do you recommend people start with picking something to turn into a business? I'm not saying anything yet, but I'm looking like I do. Easiest way to start any online business is pick something that someone will pay you a lot of money for. So the easiest way to think about that is what people in the past told you that they would like help with, what people say that comes naturally to you. My first thing is I was really good at helping people with mental health issues. I was always that friend. So I started a community. I had 28 people in that community for 2 months, and I loved it, the helping part, but it just wasn't, I knew it wasn't a business for me. I actually love business more than I love that. So that was what I started first, but that was the thing that I knew that I was good at. So what I would do is also ask yourself, what do you actually enjoy? I'm looking at that. What do you actually enjoy? What are the things that you get complimented for or feel come naturally to you? And then you use that to start your service business. So if you're really good at content, you then help businesses with content. If you're really good at mindset, you're going to help CEOs with mindset. You just want to think about the thing that you get paid, if you can get a disproportionate amount of money for, or you have a disproportionate skill in, and then turn it into a service business. That's the easiest way to go about it. Again, I'm sure there's a lot of nuance with your situation and what you're good at and what you prefer, but that's exactly how everyone I know starts. And that's what I normally talk about in my marketing, working with experts or people who really know what they're talking about in certain things. And when I say experts, I don't mean book writers and stuff like that. I mean just someone who knows something about what they're doing. So a good example is someone came to me, they've been running paid ads for a business for like 10 years, doing really well with it, and they turned around and were like, okay, well, I want to run my own business doing this, and then we help them set their own business and turn it into an actual business. It's like, so, yeah, that's the kind of niche that works. You need to work out what is your paid ads, what is your idea of business, what's your idea of everything. And the other thing is to think, like, you only need to be a little bit better than some people at a certain skill in order to actually help people. I mean, like, verbalize what it actually looks like on a piece of paper. So I'm gonna just go on here because I can't remember that stuff yet. Effectively, like, the thing that people always get confused with is you don't actually have to be that good at anything in particular. You just need to be better than the person you're going to be helping with. So, the thing that helps most of that is basically just saying, like, okay, so here's a number line, and then on that number line, this is like 0, this is 10. And at 0, like, let's say this is like, I don't know, 0 competency. Let's just say ads. I think ads is easy. So, this is like 10 ads. So, this is someone who's like the best in the world at running ads. And this is someone who's literally never even heard of that. But when I started my business, maybe like until like 7 months ago, I was like, I have literally no idea how to run ads. So I was probably like here. I could have worked with someone here who's like maybe 3 out of 10 ads, and they would be able to teach me let's say two points difference. And then the difference between someone who is like then 10 out of 10 ads, they don't need to help me. I just need someone here. Maybe like someone here is probably better. 5 out of 10. You need to just find things that you are the 5 out of 10 ads at, and or at least a 5 or 4 out of 10. You can help everyone in it. When I actually started content coaching, I was no more than a 5 out of 10 at content. I had literally like 6,000 followers. There were so many people who were better than their content. But the people I was working with were 1 out of 10, or a lot of them were actually 0 out of 10 as content. They have no idea even how to go and edit or film anything. There is no point in MrBeast going and helping those people, because MrBeast will just not be able to relate to them. But I could relate to them because I had a small audience that was growing a lot, and I had mastered how to grow from small to medium audience, and that was the thing that ended up making me the money. And then slowly by slowly what happens is you just go 7, 8, you just go up this line until you become MrBeast at content, and then you can help every single person. And that's pretty much how it works then. Ads, personal training, missing, what first mindset coaching I help with, how to lead the police force, how to, what are some of those ones, what kind of do like, calisthenics, yeah, really, really cool ones, but all you need to do is good at something, and that's it, that's what really works. Okay. Do we reckon our magic guest is outside yet? Yes, Paddy. It could be on the road, maybe. Awesome. Does that make sense? You can put any questions on that. And if anyone else has any questions on that, let me know. I really enjoy having anything people just watching, and I'm like, what are you, like, how are you watching? What are you watching on? So cool. Yeah, I see something pop up, or else if not. If I sent them a lot of details about when to come and not be early, not be late. So we'll see if they actually get there. No worries. Hopefully that was useful. Appreciate it. We've got an average view duration. We've got 115 people, and the average view duration is 8 minutes, which is great. That's so good. It comes back to the reason, guys, why I'm actually doing this in the first place, which is just to put out value and trust into the market. And the reason why I'm super happy with that is like, you might be listening and say, hey, why am I not engaged in that? Some people may look at that and be like, that's so low, I can't believe it, like, how low that is. But honestly, to know that 118 people have viewed it for 8 minutes is so interesting, because what I equate that to, and I say this to not be like, oh, I'm trying to sell people, but why I say this as like the reason why I'm doing this is to basically be like, well, how can I build as much trust and get as much watch time to do as possible? And in that process, I have just, on average, got 115 people who have now watched me for an extra 8 minutes. And that would take me 8 reels, but not actually 8 reels. It would take me, like, let's say, 3 months of posting content to get all those people to watch like 8 minutes. So that's really really stuff works. And that's why I'm so bullish on what I'm doing. I love the idea of it, and it's like, I think it would work for your businesses incredibly well as well. Cool, so Paddy's joining us in a few seconds. I'm sure he's close. It's so funny because I'm like, the whole thing doesn't quite work if people are late, and then I'm like, well, how do they feel people are late? But I'm sure it'll be fine. I did say, he's waiting in the lobby. There we go. And you. Okay, so this is cool. This is Paddy. I'll introduce him properly when he arrives. Hold on. We're going to use a poster. I want to know who's watching. Like, I'm looking at you. I'm looking at you as I'm looking at you 9 people, and I'm like, what are you guys up to? What are you? And I'm so interested in that all your stuff. This is cool. Hey, there he is. Really? It's got a bit of head. Yeah, I know. How are you? This feels like some like weird OnlyFans stuff. Yeah, when you're coming in, it's so funny. It's like it's got slightly larger windows. The first time someone said you are literally the first guest on the live stream, which is very cool. This is what we're looking at now. We've had 120 people watching, which is cool. Love that. Let me show you what we're looking like. We're going to live action. I appreciate everyone for sticking out. Hey, how good was that? So nice. Cool. So Hannah will plug and play with all the top stuff. Guys, if you have any questions for Paddy as well, I'll give him the chance to why don't we introduce you to the live stream, you chat about what you're up to, and then I'll do a little hook. Yeah, where I go all like, oh, this is what we're going to do, fast, and then we'll roll from there. Sound good? Yeah, sounds good. I'm an online fitness coach. I've been in the fitness industry for 7 years, was a full-time tennis coach. I coached for Wimbledon for a few years as well, and then trying to match that with personal training. And then PT for over 5 years in person, done over like 5,000 hours of sessions. And then Instagram grew since like in the last year, and then it went fully online as of January, and now kind of becoming the people of just growing the business, learning new content strategies, doing things, and seeing basically how I can help as many people as possible. That is my goal. With growing socials, I've now got access to a lot more people, so I've got access to helping more people who are struggling with their weight loss or like their confidence. So that is kind of like my ultimate goal. Awesome. Met so cool. And like, firstly, the way that we actually met was the classic way, which was he was pretty good bullseye in like the sea and Saunders, and I was like, this guy must be a good guy. You literally went English, I was like, yeah, I'm cold. Hey, too dead. But yeah, that was such a funny way of losing. So, I love how you do that. That's how you do that. In terms of this, what like, just so I get an idea of structuring it, like, I've done a fair few of these, like, we'll just grind it and there's a bit of back and forth. Yep. The only things I want to keep as, like, guardrails is to be clear about PC business overall, so we obviously think about the second venture. Yeah, totally. The other thing, which is, like, absolutely fine, is do you want to put numbers on what numbers? And I think it's okay either way, but it's good, like, revenue numbers. Yeah, we can talk about numbers, like, I'm open like that, that's why I'm here, like, I want you to dig into what's going on. There's no feeling. Also, as long as you're happy with that, that's fine. Like, I never want to get people back to talk about that if they don't want to. Amanda, are we ready to rock along? Do you think there's anything you need to say? Yeah. There we go. It's so funny when you walk in, it's like that. I feel like it's this, like, pause. Welcome to my studio. Walking all over. Yeah, good. It looks really beautiful from here, guys. It looks like the look is really good from here, but trust me, it's an absolute mess behind us. Amanda's is like climbing over wires and all that sort of thing. Imagine just the whole thing. So funny. Okay. Awesome. Today I have with me Paddy. Paddy has 4,000 Instagram followers and he is a PT looking to grow his business. While he's absolutely nailed traffic, the one thing he wants help with is conversion. So in this video, we're going to break down his full business on this bit of paper here and tell him how he can turn his traffic and his eyeballs into paying clients. If you're someone who's running an online business, then this video is going to be for you. Because I'm going to break down our entire system and Paddy's system in order to help you. If you're someone who's looking to grow your online business, then this video is for you because you're going to get actionable insights to things that apply to the way that you run your business to make more money and to scale your offer. So that's it. Perfect. That's good. Okay. Cool. I'm going to try to get you in the house as well. Got 400,000 followers. Is that what I said? Man, so good. I'm so happy for it. Yeah, no, I'm saying now 400,000 on Instagram, 105 on Facebook. How good would that have been if you had that with like stupid? No, I like that. Okay. Okay, what I'll do is I'll get you involved in the hooks and you're kind of like I'll go, this is Paddy. No, that will always take you up. No, I will just wrap it. Oh, yeah, and you may, if you just smile. It's a bit perfect. Smile a bit perfect. This is Paddy, and Paddy is a PT with 400,000 Instagram followers. But we have one problem. We want to learn to convert our audience. And in this video today, I'm going to break down his entire business with him and also show him how he can turn the views that he's got into paying clients. It's going to be a full breakdown of his business. So if you're someone who runs an online business, want to work out how to scale while making more money, but also building a real, authentic business that helps people, then this is going to be the video for you. Can you guys do it? Genuinely, Okay, so, name? Paddy Watts. Business name? Business name is under Paddy Watts. Cool. Let's go to Paddy. Okay, PWT. Cool, PWT. Cool, so, business is, let's just talk, like, I think a few key stats for me is like ICP, offer, so that's like the offer itself, and then we talk about offer dynamics. Yeah, ICP being, so like who's the person you target, and we'll talk about in seconds, the offer, and then we'll talk about like this stats. Yeah. No, I'll just price. Cool. So, who do you go for? So typically it's men and women aged 30 to 45 who want to lose 15 plus pounds in under 6 months. So it's sustainably, inevitably they're going to lose way more than that. But if you chuck a big number out as well, that's going to be Cool. And you get 30 to 45 women. Men and women. Cool. Awesome. Offer dynamics is like, so it's losing weight. If you've got like a framework or velocity, anything like that along those lines. Yeah, typically first like couple of months of getting control. So that's a lot of people come to me and are like, I can't stop thinking, I can't stop doing this, like, I don't actually know what's going on. So 1 to 2 months is like a getting control phase. Yeah. The second month is kind of where we dive in a little bit more, so you kind of start nutrition tracking, tracking those stats. So then actually you're going to see more of that physique change.
And then the final one is like maintenance. So nobody I found in the industry teaches maintenance because they want to keep people as long as possible, right? My whole job is to outdo myself with a job. So when it comes to 6 months, something like paddle, I either don't need to anymore because I know that's what they do, or they stay with me because they want the training they want to do. So like, that was kind of like control, then cutting, and then maintenance.
I love that. And that's actually why I want to do this room, because you actually want to build a cool business. Which is awesome. Unlike a lot of other things too. That's cool. Price. So different duration as well.
Price and duration. So paid in full up front is $9.99 for 6 months.
Nice.
You can do
pounds.
Yeah, pounds.
Nice.
You can do monthly at $199 for a minimum of 3 months.
Cool. $199 a month.
Yeah, for a minimum of 3 months.
Cool.
And there is another offer which is $549 for 3 months paid in full up front. So that's kind of just
$549
paid in full.
Yeah.
For 3 months. There is like the caveat sometimes with people when they come to me, because as I say, like my whole thing is about helping as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Occasionally what I will do, depending on their finances, we'll have an honest chat.
Yeah.
I would occasionally break it's $999.
Yeah.
And 3 payments of $333.
Yeah.
If I feel financially they need it, and actually they're going to benefit from that.
Makes a lot of sense. Okay, that's really cool. Thanks. Already can get to the point for that. Number of clients. Again, last time, don't have to be like super accurate.
30, 35 at the moment.
Cool. And then are we talking just post online movement here? So are we just talking, are we already the 35 online, or are they transitioned, or?
Some of them transitioned, majority are online. I'd say 5 came from in person.
Cool.
So the challenge up in Jan is just like a beta challenge that I launched in like 9 days.
Cool.
Just kind of get the Jan thing, but
cool.
So there's 10, 11 on that, and then the rest are kind of
That's pretty cool. Wait, let's have you talk about that. So like, in terms of where they came from, so we've got let's say 10 from beta challenge.
Yeah.
5 from online already. In person already.
Yeah. And then the rest are kind of over the last like year, 2 years. I've been in online training as well, but I've been shouting about it, so I'm building the in-person stuff in London. So
interesting. So you actually find the majority or all of your clients in the last few months on beta?
Yeah. So since the Instagram grew, the majority of my current clients have come from November to March. So the 10% of each challenge, and then it's like a monthly rolling or the 6 months up front. It's just through this conversation.
Okay, cool. And what is the Beast Challenge?
So it's basically an 8-week practice challenge at the start of the year to kind of help, essentially it's a condensed course. Course for the foundations, the thing, and the maintenance. So it's basically getting people on their journey from the start and run challenges, start of January, and there'll be 8 more on September, essentially. So there's different ways. Again, that's a different price point. I can tell you that much if you want to.
Wait, the 10 one? Or?
Yeah, but for the challenges, that's a different price point. So because it's 8 weeks structured, it's 149 early bird and 199.
Okay, cool. Cool. Say that one more time.
149 for early bird.
Yeah.
And then later is 199.
Cool. Sick. This is cool. Team just you right now.
Team for me.
There we go. Cool. Team is just you and audience 400 Insta, not 400, and 100 on Facebook.
Yeah. So I think, pretty much.
Yeah.
Earlier, when I was 7,000, I'd be like, 1,531. So now I can pick up before I 6 or 5 be like,
it's funny how your difference is like a large chunk of my life. Being in a business.
The addiction pre-September was the entire, was more than mine.
It's so funny, isn't it? Okay, this is, so like a few things I'm thinking of right now. So the first thing is, like, this just feels really confusing. Like, this is like, the organizational complication here is going to just like fry. This is okay, but then this combined with that, we'll talk about that.
Yep.
We've increased this so much.
Right.
And I want to go like funnel-wise. So your funnel right now for online business is literally like just having through the funnel. So like all the way, let me actually give you the framework so it's easier. Okay, so traffic, conversion, sales.
Yeah.
So you get eyeballs through
videos, so there's reaction videos, which is like virality.
Yeah.
So reaction to people's food, making it, testing myself.
Yeah.
And then that's literally kind of the main funnel through that, and obviously we've got a million options on the
Cool. Awesome. So Instagram, like, they're really useful. So in terms of like just general stuff, Instagram and then Facebook,
cross post.
are you getting like, do you try and buy it through Facebook?
I haven't seen this is the thing, it sounds so ridiculous. It was only in like December where I had like 70k following on Facebook. Because I literally just cross posted and then one day I got a comment, I thought, oh, I've got 67,000.
Cool. So Instagram and Facebook generate traffic.
Yeah.
Your conversion seems to be your this, right?
Yeah.
That's your, like, you're basically running like a challenge, right?
Yeah, that's like 3 times a year. So challenge 3-4 times a year. The idea of that challenge is they come in at a low price point, they see they're a bit skeptical and they're upselling to the number one order they can.
Makes a lot of sense. Challenge funnel, and then that's the only way you find online clients.
No. So I've signed online clients literally through the conversations with DMs. So this one, so the 999, it's literally conversations through DMs, people commenting posts, I'll respond to them, and we'll do that.
No, I'm with you.
And then that's how we then essentially jump on a call, I speak to them about, right, this is one option, is that why not?
Cool, makes sense. And then, so DMs, like, through comments, I think put stories up all that.
Yeah, stories up, getting better at doing more stories as well. And then, this is going to sound so ridiculous, but like, you know when people say, like, speak to every one of your new followers, it's such an almost ridiculous thing to say. I got automating like messaging, and it was getting like, at one stage, like 4,000 messages going out there. I can imagine. And then it's just like, okay, I can't do that. And then it's like so many comments that are so far back. So actually the main thing I was writing are stories, like CTAs and stories that are actually now I'm trying to do that live. They are purely coaching based, because otherwise you get the level of response to send, again it sounds really ridiculous, 700 stories, and then you just follow up with each one of them, and that's like 2 weeks, and you can't even, so it's like right now, the CTA is, if you want to work with me, respond, I'll respond. That makes sense?
Yeah, that scares me to even think about. So I've got a team and I've got 20,000 followers.
I know that sounds so ridiculous.
No. It's like, it's a good, really good problem to have. So someone, and then just finishing off that funnel, so either challenge funnel, which brings some people in, and DMs, which brings people in here. The DMs, that's cool. In terms of sales, like what's the sales process, 1 call, 2 calls?
Typically 1 call, and then if they don't make the decision on that call, I'll then on that call book up a secondary call to be like, this is providing for like this is what it is.
And then again, like, I'm not expecting to be dialed in with your stats, but like, how's closing rate?
Closing rate is probably at 25%. So follow skills, like sales kit. They fill in a type form, they fill in a calendar link, and from that calendar link, I work it in, I've got like a flexible thing that I go through. And I'm getting so much better at it. Like, I'll put all the calls through Fathom and be like, and then do call and be like, rinse me. Nothing else like it.
Okay, cool. So that's really interesting. So, cool. 25% close rate. And any like common objections?
Let me think about it. Need to speak to my partner. Price. Those are kind of the main ones.
Cool.
Partners a big one. I think the frustrating thing for me at the moment is, like, everybody who comes to me, I genuinely know that I can really help them, otherwise I would tell them. And it's like, it's almost getting them to see that doing this is going to, yes, it's an investment, but it's actually going to benefit them so much more than this. You've been on, I don't know, like, diets in the past, like, things like yogurt for skin, because you need Weight Watchers to actually, when like you feel that you can lose, eat cake and lose weight, and genuinely live your life. And that's what the frustrating bit is, like breaking that.
No, I can imagine, and I'm sure you can help. For sure. The people who come, do you think when you say 25%, are you like, okay, they're qualified? Like, who I'm jumping on calls with is, I can help, I'm ready to do this, but I just need to, like, they're just literally doing the balance.
Definitely.
Nice. Alright, let's, so, one thing, Amanda, just so you can know this for Hugo, what we'll do is we'll jump back into the YouTube video now. I'm going to get Amanda to just go through and just read through all of this just for the sake of the YouTube video. I think that was really into that social complex to me. Like, the YouTube video is actually just great. So, do you want to, so I'm going to be like how to talk through it. So, just like, in 30 seconds, go through it. Yeah. Cool. Does that make sense? And then we can jump through it and I've got some really cool things to fix it. Yeah. Cool. So, we just mapped out your offer. Do you want to tell the lovely audience exactly where you are with the plan?
So I target maybe men and women aged 30 to 45 who want to lose 15 plus pounds in 6 months, and hopefully it ends up being more. So there's 3 different phases of the training. There's the 1 to 2 months of gaining control, then it's kind of like trimming it down, so you're tracking stuff, and then it's maintenance because most people don't actually teach that. Painful up front is $999 for 6 months or $199 a month. Sometimes I'll offer kind of 3 months, or you can split that up into 3 monthly payments. In terms of like stats at the moment, 35 clients around a feature challenge for people wanting to get into losing weight in January. So I've got 10 from that. Which is great. Fat loss challenge, and I've run 3-4 of those essentially a year. And then 5 came from in person, and then 20 just locally just online. To me, still on the one, so the Christmas party is fun as well. Yeah, audience is 400k on Instagram, 100k on Facebook, and then it's general funnels of putting content out, challenges, DMs.
Awesome. So, firstly, the way that I think about it is like, let's take the quick view. The way that I like to think is to get the quick and easy wins so that we can like make the biggest impact on the business to start with. So like, if I just make, let's go through a few, like, let's call these quick wins. Because I want to like create the easiest things to start with. Okay. First one is, so I work with like a fair amount of PTs, and one of the biggest changes that we help to improve this is the pupil close. So, demo cost closing, because like a few things. Firstly, you're a solo man right now, and not in life, but in not a single man, but a solo man. I love that. So, you're a solo man in terms of the business, which means that we want to take your time as much as possible. And if you're 25% close rate, you're spending like let's say for every 4 hours you spend on a call, you make 1 sale, which is 1 day, which is like 3 hours as a founder of wasted time, or like 75% of time just a killer. And I can imagine because I've met us there, it's like you're sitting there like, oh my god, there's no it's not revenue in it. It genuinely is. It's like you pop up and you're like, right, am I going to make that? Time back. So and which stuff, and also their like closing calls are the most draining of all like activities possible because you have to do them with more. So one thing which works so well, which is what I've done this with like there must be 3 PTs by now, is the 2 call close. So you have demo call. And so this like there's so many reasons why this works. The first is if you're getting these objections, it solves this objection because it means that they talk to the partner between the 2 calls and they get sign off that like you can go to this call and pay money. So it immediately is like, oh yeah, and by the way, in this demo call you wrote, it's like, by the way, like, is it just you the decision maker? And they're like, oh, no, I've got a wife. And you're like, is your wife keen for this? And they're like, no, you're like, what? You have this conversation with your wife and then, for sure. So that's good. The second thing is to get rid of this one because, well, it doesn't get rid of it, people just use it like this. So you know, just tell me. You're not actually telling me what you're thinking. But what the magic is between these 2 is something called a before and after. What are you saying to people before the closing call? Is it just a pipe form? So they're putting in like local changes because it used to be like they fill in a pipe form and then I'll drop them a message and then we're booking a call. And now I've got a pipe form at the end for booking a call. And there's no video. Okay, this will in itself take it to the place of 50% straight away. I can tell you that for a fact. So what it does is this, people in the closing call, like, they don't want to receive new information. Like, if you join a call and someone's like, and you're expecting information, our human brains are like, okay, let me just think about that. Like, I need to process that information. So what we want to do is we want to deliver all of this shit stuff about the control, tracking maintenance, and say this is what you're going to get in a video before, break the whole thing down, and then you will find that people just join this call and they're like, oh yeah, like, okay, it works so well. And so that's like, I think reason number one, get through objections. Reason number two, it increases the close rate because people come to call. They don't need to think about it, they've always thought about it. Yeah, true. And then third one is that it protects your time. Because on this one is 15 minutes, and this one's an hour. And I'm sure you've got closing calls where you're just like, I'm sorry, like, it's not there. Yeah, like the person is quite potentially. Yeah. It's like, no matter what you do, and then 15 minutes later, I need to speak on top. Oh, you're just like, I knew this was coming. Yeah. So you can deal with all of those problems here, but if you like, you just know, and you can be like, I think this person's not worth that time. You know, I don't think that they're going to have. And then what you do is instead of burning one closing call, you put them back in, and I'd say like, by doing that process, we must have like made multiple visits. Like being like, mate, so good to chat with you. You got the right time to work together. Let's speak in 2 months. We then speak in 2 months, and then like, let's go 10 days straight away. So that like would be a game changer for you. Okay? Anything that's like, whenever I ask that, I'm like, is there anything that comes up where it's like, no, that's not what I've got, anything like that?
No, not necessarily. I think it's just because, and it's probably just the way it's gone about it, but like, as soon as you get somebody off that call, then the close rate for the next call is going much lower. Well, they're like, oh, let me think about it, we struggle to get them on that next call. Like, I had somebody last week who, I was like, we booked the call in, and like, okay, let's go with this, and then something happened, and I WhatsApp her, because I've always found it, I WhatsApp her, building the personal story. And I messaged like, hey, just out of curiosity, or whatever, I said like, hey, look, Baron, have you, like, you said you're going to speak to husband, like, what do you say to him? Like, send a follow-up message. Whereas I guess, actually, if you pose it as a, hey, this is going to be 2 calls, it makes them, I guess, take it more seriously. Yeah. Very well.
So much. And it feels, because this call, you literally say to them, leave your credit card in the other room. I'm not going to try and sell you anything. Yeah. There's no picture. Yeah. It's like, it's very much, and like, there's a framework to this call, which is like the framework. Maybe you've seen this before, but you just, I don't know, I'll send you the recording there.
Store this on your,
I just realised that the same information. It's helpful.
Right here.
Yeah, exactly. So good. So what you got this call is you're not doing anything apart from being like, you think they've got enough money that I have to do that job and like that. Yeah. Decision makers, you're like, okay, what's the wife saying, what's the husband saying? Yeah. Are you in pain, which is like very likely because they're joining the call, and then is this the right time? And all of these things, like we have like, so I had like a closer doing this for a little bit, and then when I was closing, and then he now does the whole process. Yeah. But we run these as quick as possible, and all they are is like, do you have enough money to make sure that when it comes to price, it's not a literally can't, like, I'm unemployed, I can't. Yeah, sure. Authority, I went through that. Yeah. You know, you get what I mean. So the demo call, don't fear that you're going to get a drop off between here and here. We must have done, I think maybe I'll play that maybe after. Let's go like 600. So we probably have like 700 demo calls, 300 closing calls. We have 4 people in the whole process and a drop on it. Really? Yeah. So you won't lose people more. And those 4 people will never, and we've got never seen them. Yeah. They never get closed. Yeah. Because if they never go close, and then what it does, it makes this easier. Yeah. Because this is a waste of time, because we want to be doing more work here, but then having that for conversion and traffic. We want to be doing more work here to make sure that this goes up. Sure. Okay. Yeah. So like, overall aim of why this came up in my head is this, considering your audience should be 40%, not 25%. Yeah, I agree. Which is tough, because it's not like me. If the easiest problem to fix, like the easiest by far. With regards to this, there is a disconnect at the moment, we've spoken about, I guess, off camera as well, a disconnect between the level of inquiries I have and the audience that I also have. Like, it's about what is that disconnect? Like, what I'm having like 1
who he called the day, where the hell is that? Got 400,000 eyes supposedly on the day. So it's
yeah. It happens, and then that's like the second. I think that's the bigger conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
But what I was like, if we do this, and your price is this much, and like straight away you're making an extra grand a week. Yeah, like that. Right? So it's nothing to complain about, right? Yeah. So like, just so we can just put an extra grand a week in the bank, then you get the long term get all the stuff. Yeah, for sure. Cool. What a quick list I have. Okay, you're gonna absolutely love this. Mate, increase your price. It's so cheap. Like, I can tell you this because I can't mention them on camera, but I worked with like one of the biggest fitness offers in Australia and wide. Yeah. His program was $8,500, and I was just getting pissed really straight away. And it is like, I promise you, if you work with anyone, if you work with a business mentor or anything like that, the first thing they will tell you is that this is a signifier that you play in the game of the general fitness coach. And it's like, my program is incredibly expensive. As soon as people hear it, they're like, this can't be crazy. Yeah, sure. And that's the thing, because I want that, because I think I am. And if you do this, it says to me, this is the fitness program. Whereas, it blew my mind. First time someone paid this guy, why I need clothing, $2,500, no objections, $8,500. Yeah.
I think, man, I suppose see that because when you invest in something like that, right, I want to get my money worth, but at the moment it's X amount of people like flipping this out and the question stuff, and I want to work with people who actually want to make that investment and change.
Yeah, the more we talk through this, I'm like, okay, I remember my logic behind thinking about this, because you split 999 by like 6 months, that's what £100,000,
It's like putting yourself on so many times and the breakdown for it works out as only 166 a month, 199, which or 186
which is good, right? That's £40 a week. Like, that is, again, to the general population of 30 to 45-year-olds, an average amount of money. And the thing you'll have is you have this like negative cycle on poor quality, like cheap program, which brings in poor quality leads, which require more effort, that get less results, which means that you can't post incredible wins everywhere, which means your brand doesn't insulate, like fundamentally. So it's just like this horrible cycle. As soon as I started, like my program was 5 figures, my results just went through the roof, because Indian people were the most able people in the world, and they were so able to get results, that then my results got there, which was my brand gets more than But so I went to a mastermind, and the guy went, just put $3,000 in your price, and I did, and the next person came straight away. I was like, well, that was worth it. Straight away. So I would do that. Really. I would change it. And the thing is, you have to have complete conviction in it, because if you don't have it, someone else will. But also don't forget that if you change that to, let's even just say $2,999, and that means you can close 1 for less people. If that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. So like, your life is so much easier. I went to Brooks, what not that? Mate, I was dumb, but I'm struggling with that right now. I don't think that says anything. 130, I love that. Good enough. So I would recommend doing that. I think that's but that, again, the reason I asked it, what should you, like, how are you feeling about that? Because that's going to be one of those things that is like, okay. But then I guess what that does, is that forces you to be better at what you're doing as well. Yes, it does, and it means you're going to have to give, like, you're going to text me, you're going to scroll on like 3 no's in a row. I literally had a girl called Jess, who I helped in Bali, scribbled her price, and she gave me 3 texts. She was like, I've had 3 no's, and I went, just wait, and then she got 2 texts straight after. And then she was like, this is the best thing that's ever happened, because she's showing 2 people that like it. And she's something else in them, and they're kind of more fun to work with. So one of the things that I work with right now, his price is, he has 20,000 followers, 50,000 followers, and his price is $6,000 US dollars. 8,000 AUD, so £4,000. So
For how long?
6 months. Take 4 times 6 months.
Well,
So that's the first thing I'm like. So these two themselves, I mean, obviously will make you 5 figures as that changes, which is great. So then I want to get to any other quick tips. Oh yeah. Right, let's just call this 2. Increase number more than 0.
I'm not alone in the public.
Yeah, that's it. Christmas party. I like it for the Christmas party.
Genuinely, like, a quick side note, last year, I was like, stuck up with all my mates going to my Christmas parties and I'm self-employed, so I was like, right, I'm going to go to the pub by myself. I did, and I messaged like 5 mates, I was like, I'm throwing on a Christmas party, I'm actually going. And they did.
No.
And I like made a nominal like board of directors, etc. I was like, really smart. And then this year again, I messaged them again, and we had another Christmas party. And like, as you grow, we are still here in that party. So they are my team.
I expect like a show as a
Yeah. Right. We'll be at the Wandle, then we'll go to the Pie, and then we see what happens.
We see what happens. After good Christmas party. Yeah. Fuck it all. Okay, cool. So Christmas party aside, let's go into Christmas party.
Yeah.
Which is, I like to put my whole life still together. I think the easiest way to just do this is like this, which is one of my fancy diagrams. High energy, high leverage. So leverage, obviously, like how much money you make. High energy, low leverage. So high energy, low leverage, which is here. We need to get rid of this. So like, what do you do, which is like just go out and base, which anyone wants to do, and like everything behind admin is not the one thing.
Yeah. I'm looking at hiring a sector at the moment because I've now got my structure framework, which I've been like trying to get through some work through to prove that kind of the right conversation works. Yeah. That was clear.
Cool. I like that. Nice. And then editing, I probably do editing with videos, so
anything 5 minutes. Like it's literally just editing. I like doing because I like what I'm trying to get out of it. So for me, like my ultimate aim is to remove myself from the business so I can then do the editing, do the speaking, ultimately get off the phone, get people know that it's me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Like so the sales process absolutely is like that technical stuff that you pay with us. And also with your number of followers. So one of my friends said the other day, which I agree with, which is like one setter per 50 leads per day. And like you're probably doing like hours of that.
Yesterday I went through and said 100 to 6 minutes. And then we properly posted it onto the spreadsheet.
That makes me want to cry. I actually did that.
I did. Oh no. When I got the car, when I got the water, then I was seeing it.
It's a raining, mate.
Literally, no, we can't get it.
I would say, like, I would, this is like not having this cost in mind every day. Yeah. So just get it right as little as possible. Yeah. The thing, so this is like, I think this is, we've decided on that makes sense. There's 2 reasons why this is really important. One thing is this, but like, the one thing from looking through your content is just the content that everyone watching. Like, Paddy's content is incredible content, and it gets crazy views. I think I've done this together, which is so cool. Yeah. The one thing I think is missing, which is going to unlock everything, is a mission. And then explain with one of the five, George PT, doing well for himself. His mission, his unique mechanism is which you do have to a certain extent, but his mechanism is like, in order to achieve all those things, is when with a control tracking maintenance, you should not track calories. Worst idea in the world. Yeah. But what I mean by that is that his DMs are full of people who are like, I want to lose weight, great, there's fucking thousands of people who help to lose weight. Yeah, sure. But they love his message. Yeah. So what your top of funnel is so good, but what you're missing is like your unique theory about it.
Yeah, so I'd say my unique thing is that in the first month I don't get people to track.
Cool.
Right? I call it conscious eating, it's called, right? So what we do is I've got conscious eating, I call it my PFC method, right? Right? So conscious eating is just, you start to think about what you're putting in your body. So when I ask you what you ate yesterday, you can tell me. Yeah. Whereas a lot of people I say, what do you get to, and they have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
So I don't want people tracking their calories from the start. If they tell me I want to track, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
Right? So what I say is like, what I want to focus on for this first week is just finding protein and everything else. That is literally it. Cool. Okay. So when I ask you what you eat, you can tell me. Cool. So, and then later down the line, that's when you start to track calories if you want to start tracking calories.
Okay. So this is cool. This is cool. So what is your like? Within all that, which is so cool, what is your unique take on like the market? Because what you've got to do is you've got to have like your hero and your like enemy in the least way. So George is like any coach that makes you track calories, you know, give you an eating disorder and all that. Yeah. So again, the idea is good. It's like what is it normally is born on like. So mine is all about trust. That's my thing is like, I believe that because of like meeting all these like gurus or these dickhead glamour boys and stuff like that, I was like, my whole brand is out there for people to trust, and that's how I build it all. Yeah, for sure. So yours is like, what's your pain that you experience with the weight loss and that sort of thing?
I think with the coaches lying, because unqualified coaches lying. I think I said this the other day, the PT and PT are people online who like going to the gym and therefore they're just like, oh, become a PT. Yeah. It's just shocking. Like, it literally ruins it for everybody. You know, it's the second time people who are just like, oh, I've got to get my own doing it. There's the PTs who actually genuinely care. So I think there's so much strife out there to cut through the noise that everybody says, I'm happy to do it. So again, I really, really don't like people that say you can't eat a certain type of food or lose weight. That is what I don't.
That is the thing. Like, you need to package, because we said that a few times, right? I've got that. The thing that we need to package is that you can eat whatever you want to do today. Yeah. Yeah. You're like, truck diet, hot meal plans, all of that stuff. Like, eat what you want, and that's the thing. Like, obviously, average pros and cons, you can't eat, but that's what everyone has. Like, you build trust, for me, it's like you build trust, but like, everyone does that. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, and this, from like everything I've seen of your content, and this is why I do this, right? Because and just for people watching, like, this is the almost like content funnel. This is where the client signs, like here, where the client signs. And before that, like up here is top of funnel, like all the stuff you post, which is so good, which is like the reactions, all that sort of thing. Like, followers basically. With this, what I've just spoken about, so I don't forget is, I had a client in person, and then she's moved online, she's lost 26 kg in the last 18 months. And the first thing she said to me is, I love food, it will work out. And I replied to her, I'm not going to, there is nothing that you can't eat. And when I went away from in-person to online with her, she got me a voucher to like a Michelin star restaurant. She said, this is the thank you, you've never told me I can't do that. No way. Yeah, so here's a 100 voucher for this restaurant because the first thing you said is you can eat whatever you want. I've never told you to can't. Must be a cool feeling as well. Yeah, I've tried that thing. But yes, she's done so. I then made her go and pick up a 25 kg dumbbell in the gym. She's like, wow. Sorry, that was just thinking about the food thing. That flow state of where you just spoke about is exactly what we want. Because I feel the passion coming out of you, and for me, the same as the trust thing. It's like, I actually passionately believe that. I love it. Like, I love food, whatever, since a kid. So that's actually, so that's so cool. So, the bit from is not, for context, what we're trying to do here, we're trying to, the conversion from me is the biggest thing. That is the thing that we're talking about. It's like getting 400,000 to actually that is the block. So we're pumping this part, which is the reaction to the follow. The part that we want to talk about is middle of funnel and bottom of funnel. So the mechanism is the part, I believe, it's like a theory, the part that we can talk about how that's using it. But the funnel you have, which is like the end sector, volume, not lifespan. I don't know, change that. I think that's actually fine. Apart from a price increase, I wouldn't like change it anyway. But I would just say, like, the biggest thing here is mechanism. And what you want to do is basically drive your mechanism in as many formats and ways as possible. So like, how do you talk about it in as many different, I mean, you're great at content, so you're not wrong with it, like how do you drive this, I love food, I love to eat as much food as possible, we talk about food and videos and everything. I can imagine, and that's the great thing, is like, you've got the traffic problem. The only other thing is like, it's just like, I don't know anything about it, but Instagram. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly that. No, I'm trying to, I think one of the reasons for that is because you see weight loss coaches who have been large and have lost weight. Right? I've never been overly large yet. In fact, I've put on weight. I still understand the struggles, but there's times when I want to cut, there's times when I want to do this, so I understand that. So like, my personal struggle essentially with that doesn't necessarily follow, but I do, that's the thing, I do like food, I do like cut, and I do cut, and I had a pizza and bar there and all chocolate last night, and I was about to cut. It's getting that personal story in, but then that's why I was just like, I've never had 9 to 5. I know your part of your is 9 to 5, then you're doing it. Mine hasn't been that 9 to 5, so it's a relatability of that. But here's the funny thing, like, we obviously get on and you trust me with, like, talking to you about business, but, like, you never had a 9 to 5. Yeah. So, but it's funny that you know that. And the thing is that it's actually not so much about the transition, it's just about giving people reasons to claim onto you and you know, like, so like, you immediately said to me like, oh, you had a 9 to 5, and that is a big part of my story. Yeah, like 30% of my clients that everyone has a 9 to 5, I take a lot of people who have been coached that whole life, but they just relate to certain things. They might have like parents and stuff, they might have started coaching because of their 9 to 5. Sure. Yeah, so what is more interesting is just giving yourself, is like giving your character a certain part of that story. Yeah, it's interesting you have said that, because I have tried 9 to 5. Yeah. Well, I had a marketing internship for 5 years. I went in an investment bank for a week, 2 weeks, and the most out of paper. Yeah. And it's just like, I never felt, I can't sit for you, probably noticed, like, I can't do the secret stuff, but I'm never found. Yeah. And I promise you, even if you just spoke about that, but immediately, people, and you've probably heard this 1,000 times, people buy the coach. And people are like, people will want to invest in you because they're like, I work in a 9 to 5, but I don't like my job, but what I want to help with is weight loss. But the reason I love Paddy versus this guy who's sat in fucking Bali and he's smoking that is that Paddy gets me. Yeah. So it really doesn't matter what it is. This guy in Taffy-Law, who's like, I went to this mastermind recently, people are obsessed with like, he's barefoot all the time. Yeah. And people are obsessed with the fact that he's barefoot all the time. And that's his little like personality thing. And honestly, I've seen people who are like, I get him, he gets me, I love like his nature, and like his nature, and I'm like, just pick the weird shit about you. There we go. Like, that's such a good thing to talk about. Yeah, so just find reasons for people to relate to you. Yeah. People join my training course, you know, like, honestly, like, I put this call, I saw your high-level training plan, and that's so interesting. I was like, let's talk about the organic content. Now, like, I love your training plan, I'll pay you, whatever. Yeah, for sure. And then, like, that's the reason that, like, yeah, you're so good at this, but these two are the things we're looking at. And then we can talk about how to deliver them, but these are the best conversion methods you recommend. Yep. Format-wise, like, it's just about redirecting the content a little bit, I think. Because, again, like, I looked at your page earlier and I was like, okay, what you really push on the page most is the reaction videos, the meal prep stuff, like the drill, which is so good. And you can maybe go, oh, fuck that, I hate those people. I saw the funny people in the cafe the other day, I'm like, fuck you. You've got so many calories in. But, it's so good. But, go on a rant, go on an attack on person. Like, I like your content. Yeah, that's lean into it. Go in, start zooming into posting on your story. These are the killers. And that's the stuff that, like, it's one of the reasons, like, we joke about it. So it builds a connection there. And it's really good to get the buyers. Okay, does that make sense?
Yeah, no, yeah, got it.
That's cool. In terms of actionable stuff, like, I mentioned to you the other day about YouTube and all that sort of thing, it does work, and the thing is, if you send your audience to YouTube, you're just gonna, like, you will do really well. I would just pick, like, 3 videos to do on this, 3 videos to do on this, and then just constantly promote them to your audience. Because all you're trying to do here is, like, increase watch time.
So the method is remind me that
This is this.
Yeah.
So, like, what's your mission to the team? It's like someone who loves, when you're like going on about the goal that you help. Your mechanism is like, and you might need to package it up into like a name. Mine's like a trustworthy basis. You want to think of like a bit of a name or a bit of like a catchphrase. But it's like, I love food and I need to play. Yeah, something like that. That's good actually. Improves. You should make some content for the video. Very improves watch time. So effectively, the other problem which is the reason that these lives are done in YouTube videos is like, the more you get people to spend with you, the more identify. So like, there's some reels, so they're just like, there's no trust build.
Yeah, sure. And playing live on my IG, I don't know.
That's so good. Mate, go live, and go live when you're eating pizza, and then there you go.
Never do that tonight. Let's get another one back.
I wish I could get paid to do that. You're actually going to become really fat.
Now I'm going to as well.
Very good. So anyway, in terms of tactical advice, it's literally just, if you want super specific advice, it's make more content on this, and just make a few long form videos of it. Okay. I'll get into this video. And then tell that story about girl. I saw you put the results up today on your Instagram, but the best fitness coaches are the ones that your story should only be 2 things, which is a personality. A story. Yeah, your Instagram story. Yeah, that's good. But like, that is your Instagram story. Results plus personality. Everyone who views your story is here.
Yeah.
So like, how many stories do you see there? Like 10K. So like, they are in charge of showing you your best 10,000 followers, which is like your post the most, so like 29 fans. So just swap with this and this. Like, literally, I just do 1 day result on it, and then result on it. That's what I'm trying to do. So that's what I do, and then the CPA is like what you know, like just cool action with the work with your stuff. And you get your stuff and guns and plays like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. That is the only thing that I missed was just talking about like team, which is your mission will massively help your ability to sell a team.
Sure.
That helps a lot. Like I've got a sales guy, really incredible guy, working with me for like a year and a bit now. It's all because we actually like we agree on our mission. Yeah, sure. So especially people, you'll probably like a lot of people get 13-year-old kids to be their assessors. I think it's just like it's the most painful thing ever. Just treat it like an actual employee and someone who you care about. And that's how they do it. And that makes good men.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Like,
I know we briefly spoke about why I went back as well.
And I love that. I think that's worth mentioning. I do that. Basically, it's because I have straight hair for a long time. And so I went through a stage of wearing hats. And then I started noticing people were commenting. A lot of my audience, like 45% of my audience are men. And then a lot of people are, I love the Dodgers. And I was wearing the Dodgers hat. The next day I was wearing like an A's hat. People are like, I love the A's. And then it got to a stage where I was like, I said to my housemate, I'm going to go to America. And I wore a different hat every single day. So if you look at, I actually bought this because I don't have an LA Dodgers. So if you look at my page, I've got Yankees, the Dodgers, an A's, like a Knicks, a Raiders, and then people just dive in the comments. So like, you say an English slang word, I use slap it. Whereas they say smacks, and I'm like, it's just like, so good. So like, that's what's special about what you do. You've got this stuff. And that's what's cool, is that all you need to do is this stuff, and do this stuff, and then more stuff.
Yeah.
And take your leg away from the place.
I might need to go turn it and just put a screen in front of it and just see what
I honestly would.
it's got a cooler on there.
Alright, we'll put a screenshot on the YouTube video to see how he closes. That would be probably bad. Very cool. Alright, so yeah, so takeaways from you, I just let me go through what you would expect.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so great to see it. I'm very visual, so it's broken down simply, and just really confirming what I need to do. So there's so many different things that go through my head, like what about this, what about that, and actually just breaking this down. This was the big thing, the mechanism, the fact that I love food, and so actually getting that message across to people, because hey, my 8-week challenges, it's just like, yeah, you haven't told us anything, you can't eat, I'll literally lost 5 kg. And actually that was a bit of a lack of if I could start driving that into the content, showing people, because nobody wants to be told that. Everybody takes that. I think there is a bit of skepticism with it when people are like, eat what you want to lose weight, don't like that. So actually, I guess I've now got a load of testimonials and actually people saying, so that, I think that is the big thing. The increased watch time, and this is what I'm trying to flip towards, which is literally one day of results, one day of personality, but getting the protein balls in there, maybe it'd be like,
I love that.
Hint some protein balls on personality.
That'd be so good. That's the mechanism. Sick. Cool.
That's unbelievable.
Good stuff. Appreciate it. Okay, you cool. Good stuff.
Absolutely, it's incredible.
Awesome. And now we're rolling live, but we've got a few minutes. So, we'll kind of sit, make do what you want to do. I have to get my next guest to sit. It feels so funny to do whatever. How did you guys enjoy that on the live? I hope that was useful. Everyone commented soul-casting.
Yeah, I did notice that. That actually really made me chuckle. I saw that halfway through.
You're very trusting that you just met me in like a rock pool. And I invited you to my private live stream. You're like, I'm employed.
I've actually got a camera outside, but if I don't make it, then people will make it.
Hey, they don't know what happened.
I'll leave you to it, mate.
I appreciate it so much.
Thanks.
Paddle tomorrow. Look forward to it. I'm actually terrified. This guy is, I think good at paddle.
No, it's not me, mate.
It's like, it's getting like a 3 quarters of a million.
It's pretty good. I've got 7 sign-off on the Fiddly, so I might be allowed to move a little bit.
I love the 7 sign-off. And drop me a WhatsApp after this. Cool. Please do. Yeah, please do. I might flop as well. After you, I will. Hey, I hope that was useful, everybody. I kind of didn't think about the live stream for a long time, so I was just jamming, you know. Yeah. Tuck him in. I'll be fine. I'll forget about it for an hour. Yo! Matt, how are you, mate? Sorry, it feels like you're coming in straight into like a production set. You're ready to work. How are you, mate? Jump in. Please do. We're not live. We are. We are so live, but we've got 9 people watching. Let's take a minute. Again, forget about the cameras and people feel just chilling, enjoying themselves. Tell me about yourself, mate. You're Cape Town born and bred. Oh, yeah, Diamond Roots, have you heard of it? Yeah. So I'm probably Diamond Roots, correct. Studied type-managed complex for 10 years. I got really struggled because it's really hard to do Cape Town. It's really fun to learn out. And then, I figured out that Cape Town was pretty good at the hotel business. That's been doing really well. But the agency has taken over the time. And things have changed in the last 2 years. So that's the thing to work on. Tell me about community business. So interesting. We wanted to start like a hostel or Airbnb or something, a hotel. And when I discovered Code Living, we haven't been in Code Living. Like, they had a bunch of other tools. So is it like you work and it's like people know like work has to do? Yeah. So like minimum stay a month. Cool. So everybody has to be like working or have a job or like make my mindset. Sometimes they have people on vacation and interviews and reject them because people want a free environment. It's been going for 2 years. We're expanding slowly but surely, but it's done really well. What's cool?
Cape co-living.
Very cool. Because there's like, it's obviously people on that, like, island Bali before, so it's super good for like Bali. So, I've seen it rise so much.
Yeah, it's such a growing thing. And I think when you're traveling, you struggle to meet people when you're trying to meet an island. And it's one of those ways where you can listen to people who live the same life as you.
Yeah. That's so cool. Have you done much traveling?
Yeah, I did have 10 years, I lived in Bali for a year. Lived in Thailand for a while.
And based here now, you like
Yeah. I mean, we're traveling now for a month, but just different days. Like, I get excited to come back to Cape Town.
Okay.
That wasn't the case.
Okay.
Back then.
Yeah.
Now it's like, okay, so I'm there.
It's not a bad place.
No. I'm telling you, in winter, it was really less dangerous. In winter, it's tough.
Everyone says that to me. Everyone's like, I think for me, and you'll know this, I've spent time in Bali, that it's so, Bali's just people can't go the whole time. And that's why I'm really say it to them, that you have to do a co-living, because it just kills me in Bali. These people who are there for like 4 days all the time. Yeah. So I'm just trying to block out my brain and thinking I think the weather's going to be hard here. And listen, I prefer. There's so many Californians or South Africans who live there.
Yeah, and you can also like capitalize on it. Instead of living here so amazing, it's so amazing. So like we go entrepreneur months in the winter periods where like there's nothing going on. It's no party, nothing amazing. So we kind of host entrepreneur months, and people come for like a month or 3 months and kind of build a product or work in their business or whatever. So I think like Cape Town winter is really great for knocking down. I don't know how you've been in like the summer, but like you have fun like every day because someone's going to go to the beach and go hiking. So it's like, I like the winter, I want to love the winter because I can just say, and then work myself to my room for like a week and all that. So it's pros and cons to Cape Town. You can find out. So you didn't Bali, you just maybe Dubai.
UK, started UK, things UK, playful cultures there, but I was London based, so my culture was ethics. I got into my ethics and didn't like anything like that. And then London, which was fun, but that was where like, my job was, so I kind of just associated that with my entire corporate and stuff. Jumped on a plane straight to Bali, did a bit of Dubai, Australia for 2 months, and I said, it's cool.
It's very similar.
So similar, yeah.
No, my girlfriend's been there because I was trying to be aware of the time zones. Like, that's the other thing we're going to have to figure out the time zones.
Exactly the same. It's just too far as well. It's so, I was so interested. I was walking down the road here, I was like, this does feel like Sydney. I was walking down from the Colorado, and I was like, it feels so similar.
The weather, the vibe, the people, they're all so similar. I mean, like, I would like to be in Mexico. The time zone for Europe or it's not easy to do that to be out there.
I bet by now it's like, I'll text you when I get like June, July.
We get really cool people now. So.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate it. Well, let's rock and roll. I'm going to just completely ignore this part. Obviously, especially I want to make this like as valuable to you as possible. The context of what the agency is in.
Travel attractions.
Travel attractions. Worst thing like this is I'm so dyslexic. Which is cool. But in terms of like starting this, what I'll do is let's together go through the business like the stats. Then I'll jump and like do the help, which I just have to do, which is nice and like really bad. And then I'll get you to read through the stats of your business, and then basically what you want to have. Cool. Any questions?
No.
Cool. Okay, so I guess like breaking the business down, let's do offer, and then let's do like biz stats, and then let's do like product. Cool. So tell me a bit more about transactions.
Okay, transactions have been around for 7 years.
Yeah.
I was a consultant in the channel marketing space for like a couple years before that.
Yeah.
We did exceptionally well. We grew to 20 employees in the second year. Yeah. 30, 40, we hovered around 30, 40. Cool. But it was just a lot of people to manage. And we were doing roughly 30 to 50K a month.
Cool. And this is
actually years ago.
Cool. Yeah. And just help me currency wise. Awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, well, yeah. But it's pros and cons. scary kind of thing. So yeah, it was really cool. But I met someone who's doing that kind of mining by himself with his statistics. So I was like, well, I need to reevaluate my business model because like I was having meetings all the time. It was a different kind of business than I anticipated. Sure. So yeah, that started dying down with the rise of AI. So we were a publishing company, we were one of those companies with AI coming, they could write their own content with AI, and also like people are visiting websites a lot less, and affiliates are not really. So that's died down the last 3 years.
Okay.
So now it's like 10 streams.
Cool.
Now we like 7 to 10 people. We like to hover around those.
10 people. Okay, cool. We can get into that structure, which is awesome. Just to make it very clear, like, what is the one sentence you do this?
We help grow direct bookings.
Cool. Help grow direct bookings. For travel?
Yeah.
And is that like Safari Lodges and stuff?
Yeah, Safari Lodges, hotels, tour companies, theme parks, kind of anybody who, so like a lot of the travel industry rely on OTAs like TripAdvisor, Get Your Guide, and they pay them 20 to 30%, which is a large chunk of their money. Yeah. So they want to try and get direct bookings and have like a presence where people from. So that's our main kind of like.
Cool. And the red model is?
We do an affiliate, sorry, do an audit, and then we try and put them on like a 6 months,
cool.
6 months kind of like 15 audit, that's like you're finding the audit.
And audit is free?
Audit is like, no, audit starts at 2K.
Okay, cool. 2K audit. And then, about how much is 6 months?
It's about 1 to 2K a month.
Cool. Let's just call that like 6 to 6 months. Cool. Alright, cool. We can play with that. That's not my point. So, just so I've got in my head very clearly, it's a travel, it's a business that helps travel kind of based companies increase their bookings. When they work with you, it's a 2K audit to look through everything, diagnose the business, and then off the back of that, 6K, 6 months.
Okay, 1 or 2K for 6 months.
With you. 2K. Cool. That makes more sense. Okay. Why 1 or 2K? If you don't mind asking.
I think that's the like skill resistance when we go most of small business owners. So like 1K for them feels very manageable. 2K is still okay too. Once you go higher.
Yeah. And then just like more on that, how do you actually increase the direct bookings?
Yeah, like my background is SEO, so Indian optimization, so we kind of book campaigns that get you more visibility and therefore get you more work. Cool. But we're trying to go more into social and stuff like that because it's such a bigger channel in the world.
Yeah. So you would like, and is this like, do you manage this yourself? And you
no, the team does that. I do the sales call and maybe some of the strategy calls. But
it is done for you, and you're doing it for them. Like, for example, you would take over their social media and so that. Sick. Okay. How do you get clients?
Okay, we used to get a lot of clients from Facebook groups.
Cool.
That died. Cool. So now SEO is kind of one of our channels, but YouTube is a nice channel for trust and stuff like that, and then we kind of do more short and stuff to get into people.
Okay, cool. So YouTube, just the monitor, Facebook group, old.
Yeah, YouTube, SEO, and Instagram.
Awesome. Alright. Mate, this is so cool. Okay. What do you want to get out of this?
I want to build this as like a 50K for me.
Cool. I'm the right about it. Cool. With any constraints on them, like, is it, you mentioned the team size.
Yeah, the team size is really great now. They're not that big. I want to keep the team size big and thin. If you want to go.
Actually, let's actually just include that last one in the business strategy, which is like the CEO, which is called the CEO. And then you do like marketing, sales, delivery. So marketing-wise, how does that work in the team?
Marketing-wise, what do you mean? Like,
who does the marketing?
Well, we have a social media kind of team that does that, and they work on social and video. and yeah, I do the sales, and yeah.
Cool. And delivery side is your job. So you don't touch that at all.
Okay, exactly.
Okay, cool. So, like, the first question I always ask is this, and then we'll jump into, like, the actual, like, YouTube part of it. But before we do that, it's like, you're going to have the best idea right now of, like, where your bottlenecks are in the business. Where do you feel, I can obviously ask if you don't know this question, where are you at, and where are you going?
I think it's just me, I'm a bottleneck, because the other business took so much time. So, like, just not very time poor, quite tricky. The other business is running quite well myself, a little bit now, so I got more time. And I think, I'm just filming, so like, you're really good at filming and jumping on the camera, and it took me a long time to kind of get into that mind frame that just to do it. So I was the biggest bottleneck, now I'm more into it and kind of helping the team. So we're getting nice traction now.
Okay, cool. So you were jumping on the YouTube.
Me and then some of the team. Some of the team has actually started doing the YouTube.
That's cool.
It's really great to hear.
That's really good. Yeah. Okay. Nice. So, in terms of the file, just on this, like, generating traffic this way, just as like a really broad idea, is it like, it's just a cool file where, you type into your YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, that's the only drill to that side, basically.
We'll call it in half an hour to having a video.
Okay, cool. And in terms of like the sales pipeline, is that
that's terrible on our side. So like I'm very bad at sales. I'm not a sales person with that. So our sales pipeline is really, really bad. We don't really have some systems in like CRM or like product tools or anything like that. We see a business so easy. So like I can use the green sales forces on the website with e-commerce business. There's so much trust, but now there's not as much trust, so I kind of need the sales force and follow up and everything.
Okay.
I'm not used to that kind of
so interesting. Yeah. And still the business that comes through the 10, 20 a month is still the YouTube, SEO.
Yeah, those are like publishing clients that are kind of weaning out slowly, so they're going to decrease, and like we're picking up more SEO clients to more direct bookings now, so it's slowly happening, but it's being better.
Okay, that's super interesting. Okay, cool. And then the only other question I have business-wise is like, what's the retention model like on this?
It's after 3 or 6 months sprint, they normally stop, and then they might come back a year or 2 years later, because you kind of, with SEO, it's kind of like an initial investment, you kind of see what is from the investment, and then generally once they put that trust, which is tough to do the investment for them, like too much, and then they come back. We used to have like an 80% retention rate on particular purchases, but I don't know.
Yeah, why do you think that's like that?
It's just because our business model was so, like, we used to print money for people, because then we'd be like, the more money you get in content, we would give you back, and we'd make a figure every year. And we just really do really well in that model. So, we had an amazing end.
Fascinating. Because like, the way I always like think about it is like, how can you start? The first thing, the last thing you want to talk about immediately, like being more complex. So you want to talk about
Definitely
a sure. That's like it's like the longer term. Okay, we should do this. But I'm thinking, okay, talk about that. So that's fine. Let's go into a few things on that. Okay, so in terms of video, just very quickly, I'm just going to shoot at her. If you are going to pass it over to you, you'll be like, here's Matt, channel captions. Matt, can you just give me a 20-second run through and just be like, Vim's doing 7 years, you do this, and then this is our revenue, this is how you'll get it. Remember? Yeah. Okay, cool. And then we'll go into the magic time, and also like as many things as you want to follow this, so we can do it. Okay. If we're looking to grow an online business, then you're in the right place. Because today I have Matt here who runs Travel Productions, and we're going to be breaking down his entire business and exactly how you can take your agency from 10 to 20k all the way to $50,000 every single month. I'm going to break down everything like this offer, the business stats, the funnel, and give him some nuggets and gold that you can take away to double and triple your agency. So stick along, and I will take you on the ride. Matt, do you want to break down the business start?
Cool. So this is called Travel Factions. We are 7 years old. We help travel companies get more direct bookings, mainly through SEO, but we're venturing into other things. Revenue, we basically do like 10 to 20k, we get that to a 2k audit, and we kind of get them on a 3 or 6 month sprint for a k or 2, kind of depending on the business. Yeah, how's the big decrease in the last 2 kind of years? We want to work on that. Resetting my funnel, my pages. We used to get a lot of people on Facebook groups that kind of died out. I think like YouTube is your social media kind of the place to put our stuff in. So yeah.
Awesome. Mate, that's so cool. Okay. So the first, like, the way that I like to structure it is, I always want to make sure I can do that part. But the way I want to structure it is just go, okay, let's talk about quick wins and let's talk about like long-term wins that we can chat about. So quick wins wise, I'm fascinated by your sales process because you explained your team to me just while you were off camera, and you've got a good marketing department, you've got a team doing that, obviously you're the essentially still founding a brand, and you've got a team like delivers that. So as always, like your job is just to sell as long as possible, which is always hard work. But obviously you're good. Yeah. So like, and that's so cool. The first thing that I'm interested in, I think you might need to suggest it, is the idea of, are you the only person in the sales department? Because in my, like, for my business and for the clients that I work with, the worst thing that we can have is, like, you want to be, at worst, is the closer. So my biggest thing is I think we need someone to be doing to build this sales pipeline, okay? Because right now, like, you've probably got, as you said to me, you've got people who are like, they join after a few years. There's probably loads of follow-ups to do. There's probably loads of people in your Instagram and your TikTok who are ready to begin. So I think, like, firstly, just talking about the story. So you were saying, like, you've not got really, which is, yeah, it's great that you can lead us to that at some point, right? So in terms of yourself, let's assume someone messages your Instagram. How does that process work?
Wow.
The grand's not getting it so far.
We're just Instagram is a good channel, but basically when you find a message, just kind of get back to them and be like, hey, book a call here. I think that's really interesting to do it.
Okay, cool. Well, as I said, mate, like, I'm jealous because I've got guys going like back and forth trying to get our leads going. So that's cool. I would say, I think the easiest things and the quickest things is the easiest thing is if you get some hungry 25-year-old and just get them chasing and go and get them started. Because you're doing the work in your Instagram and YouTube, but Instagram and TikTok especially, and like I say, we just did that the other day. I was thinking about getting rid of our sector, so just having a close to just like having you basically as opposed to having anyone else. And then my head sales mortgage was like 9 out of 15 of our last closes came because we chased that. Wow. So it's like, you can't ignore that. And I was like, you right, we obviously need to get someone. Because you know what people are like, it's been done to you.
Just reminding people are busy.
Yeah. So we probably get nudged all the time by other people as well. So I would say, like, hiring someone and then instructing them to build out, like, the most basic Google Sheets CRM.
Yeah, you've got to have a nice Google Sheets CRM kind of copy while you're coming in.
Okay. So I think that's like the easiest quick win I would do, because then you're going to end up with your, like, right now you're trying to just pretty much
And how do you structure that? Do you give them a base? Do you give them like a percentage of the sales? So like, on their like rewards? So how would you structure that too?
Good question. So I think in terms of incentivize, because this is like working out what the role is. Is the role same thing every day, or is the role if they don't attend zero day night? So with this person, it's like 90-80% hunting, 20-10% management. So I think giving someone a very small base means that you're like, okay, I really respect your competency. I want you to know that you're not having everything every month. So again, like, wages will differ depending on what country. I can say for our sectors, it's like 500 base normally. That's what like that's what I bought in, and then one sector just commission that we have up into base. So, like a little base, he basically respects the fact that they will be doing CRM work.
If they're working people.
And then, like, between 5 and 10% on every cash directive. So then take them there, and then if they go on, then they can, like,
And what's hunting for you? That's what other people reach on Instagram. Is that finding new business? Like,
good question. So, like, the way that I would instruct them is like warm, cold. Let's see what I say. Like, these are warm guys. These are super cold guys. And what the way that I've structured my business is I'm just trying to get as many people into this area as possible and get these cold people in here. Like, if you start getting outbound with your sector, like, firstly it's just a shit job for a sector to just do outbound the whole time. But something like LinkedIn, it works better. Instagram takes up a bit harder. So what I would do is just give them a task list, and the task list is trying to like get as many as the one. So it's like reignite, so like old leads, previous leads, all that sort of thing. And then the second is like social DMs. So I reckon you're probably losing just a bit of money, let's say 5k, 1 to 5k every month. So I'm just not having someone who applies with 10 minutes in social. So like that's the second one. And then I would say that's your number 1 job, that's your number 2 job, and then your number 3 job is outbound. So it's like more content. So this is like just deal with what we've got, and this is like the hunting part. I think that's what I like about it. So I would say like 50-50, like 50-50. The more you post here on YouTube and Instagram, the more it looks like this. So like my sector doesn't have to do all of that. Just depends how much you can move people to this quicker.
I'm starting actually for social media. YouTube's doing quite a lot of social media. Getting there. So I'm really looking at social media. Put out, I'm only putting out like one post every 3 days.
Yeah, and that's we're posting 4 times a day. So like, which was not the flex.
All your top of minds, building connections.
And that's the thing. And I think that's interesting to say that, which is the more you post, the more that this job becomes easy, which means the more you jump on calls and everything. So I would say that, which is marketable. Which is the most annoying advice ever. So you're doing 1 a day, what every 3 days?
One post is really cool.
I guess, how, in terms of your delivery team, if you have a marketing team, who's actually in your marketing team?
So we have a hit strategist. We have a project manager. We have 2 writers. Social media person, video editor.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to map it out a bit more successfully. We'll go back to some quick wins, but I believe, like I'm sure you see from the Yaki right online all the time, I'm like, the more you market, the less you have to sell, so it's more fun to, and it's kind of as well, right? So it's nice to have that. A few things, I guess like, let's come up with a good marketing plan. And I don't need to take the head strategist role. So, I like the team idea. Do you think YouTube is doing the best for you?
YouTube is definitely getting more traction, and we've had a couple of leads that, you found it on YouTube.
Cool.
And,
Cool. Okay, nice. And how many YouTube videos?
we 1 a week.
Cool. Okay, nice. That's great. So let's split these up. YouTube, we'll call it like shorts. Okay, cool. So I'm not going to take that into that. This is like, I have no idea about it. That's your area of expertise. The one thing that I would just ask for more like a consulting view is, do you find, is it different tools?
Not as much as GEO or like content engine optimization, whatever they want to call it. I think I need to build a product around the new kind of phase. Okay. And that's kind of what I want to do this month.
Okay, cool. Okay. How does that feel? So, the way that I think if you're booking more calls here, then what we want to do is like double output here, and then use this to go to this. So the only reason I post short-form content is to get into long-form content. That is the marketing strategy. Like I could not care less my reels do well. All I care about is money to my bio game. That's all I care about, because people want to spend 7 hours with you and storytelling that, and it's like, for me, every single person who buys from me is always like, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on LinkedIn, I've binge on YouTube, so that's to me.
It's more of a cost effective for you than acquisition terms?
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's not, I'm interested if you know about your clients, okay, but from what I found is that YouTube, you may have got those clients from SEO, like they look on Google, and they're like,
well, that's my strategy actually. So I use SEO for YouTube, so generally it's looking for problem like how do we marketing for hotel? And either YouTube shows or Usher. So yeah, very particularly the problem that they kind of try.
Okay. So what we want to do is this will work so well. I'm so happy we've got this because this is super easy. So what I do is I split these posts into like an SEO optimized post. This is your bread and butter, and then a bit more like top of funnel. I think we can say like middle funnel because our aim is to generate top of funnel here and drive it to here. So like our funnel is short and SEO. So that brings in short SEO, middle funnel YouTube, and then this is like testimonial results. And honestly, like this will just be YouTube. So in terms of like, I think the problem, the immediate solution will make more money behind the sector. That's just like the quickest thing. And then the longer term plan is we need more at the very top to fill the battery. So top of funnel stuff, which is then like the plan I put together, is Instagram, TikTok. I do make different content that fits in exactly.
So also what my making like in videos that we're doing YouTube and only using our YouTube content to make 3 shorts or whatever. It's very specific. It's like a certain kind of
it's like it's probably because I wish it was the truth, but unfortunately like shorts like something like YouTube just doesn't work anymore. It's the hell of the ass. But what's good is you have time because of your delivery. I know you've got that. I'm saying that when you said we have a really big other business. So I can kind of talk you through, I think maybe it's useful to talk about the way that I do my marketing, which is, let me talk to you about a week, because I know you're busy man. So we'll call this like the short form week. So,
and I also want to talk about middle of the summer, like what
yeah, let's definitely do that. So, in terms of the short form week, that's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In terms of this, the easiest thing that I found in terms of workload, and I promise you, like, I obviously didn't really get something like that. That's when you got all that. So, like, you literally, I mean, I don't know what I can draw this out. You just want to have one day a week, which for me is Wednesday, where we do like a hero 2 hours. Actually, you call it like hero content. But one of the reasons I'm doing this live stream is I film 2 YouTube videos in 32 hours. This could be a YouTube video and someone else could be a YouTube video. So 4 hours of YouTube videos. So what I would do is I have one, and it's totally chill, like me and Anders, we're going to rock together next Thursday, and I'm going to get my marketing team, so you can do the same, to just create 20 ideas, get a videographer, and just make their responsibility to film the 20 videos for you. So I just say, create, let's call it Monday, call it like short form Monday, and on that, just put 4 hours in your calendar into that, that's my marketing short form. And that is like the easiest way to do it. Which is like, I know exactly like saying it out loud, like you've got this revolutionary idea, but you just get what I do is we have a meeting so what I actually do is on Monday, this is media meeting, and over these days, media plan. So from Wednesday to Sunday, the media team are putting together the plan for the media meeting. In this meeting, they're going to present the 20 ideas. On Wednesday, it's filming. On Wednesday, it's filming, and then it goes out to the next week. And then we're just doing like an iteration cycle. And if you want to expand that to like a bi-weekly, you could do, 20 ideas is enough for 2 weeks. And then you just like, and then you have to have a big coffee on Wednesday morning, and just go, but honestly, the activation energy, the activation energy you need to record.
Yeah, I think that's something good. So like, you seem to come on a lot and do like almost spontaneously. And I think that's something that I've done once or twice when I see what the role of the interview too. Sometimes you just feel it. So holding accountable to the actual day that you decided is really important.
And a bit like you obviously have a team that talks on Monday and you're like, and then if you don't do it on Wednesday, they're like, mate, that's not. So, but the reason you bring it up actually because what I actually do, and this is because I pretty much, I don't have a very successful second business unlike you, so I have more time on my hands to market. This part here is what I call system 2. So this part, and this part, is a very different colour. But these parts are system 1. So system 1, these are like arbitrary names. But system 1 is being super type A, super planned, which is what we're doing. System 2 is, fuck, that's a really good idea, I'm going to do that right now. And what you'll find is when you actually start with the content, it's like, oh, so that's not as bad as I thought it was, because I hate it content myself, which is quite mad, because I just love yapping.
Yeah, I'm finding I'm getting more enjoyment the more I do it.
Yeah,
I think
I think that's really good, for sure. So, the reason I just said that is because you said to me, oh, I do it on the cuff stuff. But that's only because I know that I've got 20 ideas and being sorted by this team. So I just feel like, I really need to do this. And then when you do something, this is quite funny.
Cool, I love that. I'm actually really meetings and like actual meetings about what we're doing for my main company.
It's just interesting, isn't it? I just found that putting time in my diary with a lot of people who need to attend just makes me do work.
I used to do that. Now it's on a clear diary.
That's very funny because the reason, like, I obviously have been traveling a lot for the last 5 or 6 months and I've loved the freedom to do it, and I feel like, I think I need to have some calls in my diary if I want to fail, because it's like, it's fun to coast a little bit like
being like a done, making like all the stuff, like, either desiring, tell people you're going to do stuff.
So, I appreciate you being open to that. I could probably want to tell them, like, no, fuck it, I don't really want to. So, that is our simple plan for that. And what's cool is you have immediate things. They're going to know what to write for you. The only thing that I would say, which is a small thing, just saying to immediacy, is just, like, put a massive bias on copying. The one thing I was chatting to my community about recently is so many people and so many marketing teams think that they've got to sit down and come up with the most revolutionary ideas. And,
it's stuff like that, copying and better than
exactly. And I know you'll be able to do that, but just, like, don't get your media team to spend 4 straight days there trying to come up with all these sick ideas. Just be like, 70% of the ideas just kind of get marketing to stuff. Cool. Alright, you want to talk about moving forward on YouTube?
I'm looking on YouTube, and then, so I am getting my team to do some of my videos on YouTube, thinking, what do you think of them?
I really like it. I really like it because, do you know a company called Kinso? Have you seen them before? So they're, I don't know what they do. I think they're an Australian app that helps people with, they're like a tech platform. They have their 2 founders, super successful guys, and their whole team have their own, and they've got like a,
what they do is it's 2 founders before the company,
and their marketing is
it's incredible,
and it's very, very weird. So their marketing team, everyone in the company is told and has like social media. So the stage 1 of that is to have everyone in the team doing that. The other good thing is it removes your team analysts, it removes your, I thought I was really working with you and now working with some marketing person, that sort of thing. So I would get your marketing person to do interviews with me, and like get your, I don't know, whoever's in charge of your SEO or whoever's in charge of like anything that you think is good for the client, to become character.
That's kind of what we've done. So like our head of page is becoming a very good head of social is becoming a very good SEO. So that if we get on the call, it's either me or the person that they want to see. Okay, so
I think that would be awesome.
No worry about an account lid and then people seeing random people on my YouTube and not being
and I think this needs to be finalized. I think you need, so the one thing that Kinso do well is that if it's on the main company account, it will have some reference to the channel, you, but it could be completely unrelated. So it's like your marketing will tell you like, oh yeah, he did a bad move or something, something like that. That will work. Cool. Yeah, but we can't do that for a second.
I'm thinking about it. It's really good idea. It's not good. I think it's useful to do.
Yeah, and then it's like over in Australia, right? Cool. Sick. So then I think the aim of this, as I said, is to get to this. If this is working, that's just like how it's going. Just like, the middle of funnel stuff. So
That's what I'm trying.
yeah. So
What does that look like to you individual and
yes, sure. So again, sort of the stuff in funnel. Share. So this is effectively how I think about like funnel and content, which is the share stuff, which is our Insta, is more like stuff that's entertaining, a bit more like a bit more story based, a bit more fun based, and just like you and I, it's so just people talk about it. Then what you do is you have to have the YouTube in the bio. Then what you do is the middle of funnel YouTube stuff is more like technical. So that's actually, okay, this company's super interesting. Now I want to actually know how to help them and that's more speciality. It's less interesting content. Like, one of my best performing videos that converted so many people was how to hire an editor. Which is like the dumbest thing in the world, but it's actually like, okay, the family we're talking about. So I would do that, plus case studies.
on YouTube, what in social media?
So case studies of testimonials. So like a mix between either just an interview with a client that works really well, or like my as context, my purely just testimonial channel gets 900 clicks a month. So 900 people watching people basically like those.
Yeah.
So it really works like those YouTube videos, and I would say that you can make them entertaining, but like how this theme hops to the other things. Yeah. And immediately that's the search after the page. That's the best way to make it. So YouTube plan, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So marketing plan done, that means you get more leads through this whole. Tim, from my perspective, better comes in deal with all the leads, market more, give more to the better. Is there any other questions you have or any other things you're thinking about?
I think maybe the office sales, right? My office sales is like I think you have many tips for people to like, I don't do any of them, but how it works and I think that's a good way to get more leads.
So what I would do, I don't mind if it's fine. So when you say after sales, you mean what do you mean after?
Well, one is we don't use anything where people comment and they maybe get seen in something, which I think is like an underutilized thing that I'm going to do pretty more on YouTube. So it's something more about that. And then I think my office has like we do free follow-ups. I never speak, so I never stand like a presentation or a picture or something. So like we're very like nothing enough for sales. So the two things is the screen set, like not for the commercial, and then
Okay, cool. So this is short form. This is long form. What I would do, the easiest and most simple way to run this, if you think everything I do here goes to here, and then you have in the description of these, you have two things, which is Insta and Bitcoin. So this is obviously, I'm just putting a call straight away. The Instagram is like your Instagram, they can put in a call with, they can message your Instagram for $3. So what I would do is like, everything in your short form is main chat to YouTube. So all our areas could be like, comment to this, and you're going to send them one of your middle of page videos. Okay. So what I do is I have 3 YouTube videos, which are my like best middle of funnel videos, I'm just going to recycle the money chat. So when they comment, they DM, they get them if they watch this. What happens is this and this puts them into our CRM. Because anyone who comments, you're first like, oh, let's go and have a conversation with them. Anyone who Instagram messages for free value, the sector kind of in here. So then that's the CRM, your sector go and chase and go follow up, like, what's going on, and that sort of thing. This books a call, speaks about the call, and the CRM, everything like that. So these two are for the people who are taking their time a little bit. This one is for someone who's keen, and these two are for the people who are like, okay, let's not think critical. I like it. Easy way to do it. So every single short form post should have, it's like, I'm actually, every single post to do like 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
Kind of like a comment that you give to
yeah, and then all you want to do is have 3 YouTube, which work, and then 2 lead magnets, which are these things. Cool, so like, I don't know, PDF guide on SEO for your kind of company or something like that, and it's related to it. Yeah, interested by, I think that works. As long as the I'm sure the closing rate is good, or should.
No, I've been in the field.
Yeah. Alright, easiest way to fix this. Okay. Why do you think?
I'm not very salesy, so I think when like someone asks how do you, last night I had a amusement park, so like, have you watched the amusement park before? And I just didn't know. And I was probably like, no, but the challenges are very similar. So I just like, nothing salesy, so that's one of the issues. And I think just a lack of highlight.
Because I'm quite loud and I like everything, I was originally told I was going to be really good at sales. My whole life I was told I was going to be really good at sales. And then I went into sales thinking that I was going to be really good at sales. And I scrapped the sales because I thought way too much of a person. And what I would say is, like, I'm not going to sit here and preach to you, but I'm sure you're a lot better at sales than you think you are. But it just comes with the conviction that you have to help people. I think you have to.
I think, things are changing a little bit now, so I can make as much as it used to be, maybe. It used to be such a, easy sell.
Yeah.
Where now it's like, we just enter in a slightly different world where if you're typically valued, mine might be very nice place. So is there a book or something that you read that kind of like changed your mentality around sales?
No, I did so many sales calls that I was pretty good at.
So I'm just going to just do it. What I'm doing now, I think it's called an AI, an AI helper to give me a script to kind of put me in the direction and stuff like that.
I would do that. If you've got any other business owners who go to sales calls and take reps, like, again, it feels like, oh, this is a long process, but it's probably hard for everything you can do it and how to get that sales. But what I say in terms of the system, which is like, or in terms of getting better at sales, is there's 2 things. There's system and skill. I want to give you just a few buckets in terms of the system, because what you can actually do, pre-sale and customer building, what you can do is you can get people who come to you more close so that your skills can be work. So like, I actually am not very good at sales, but I'm very good at making trust. I build good trust, which means that my sales calls don't have to be so good. People come and ready to go. Pre-sale asset, making 20-minute video which explains everything that you do before they come to sales call. So like, you want to, most people need this space between the call and between booking the call and someone actually joining the sales call, it is empty. So I would just make sure that it's not empty.
So they're getting like a follow-up, like a 1 day before, like just more about it, you can do
20-minute video, like these are all the things that we've done, these are all the things that help you with, and then send some testimony. And I know for a fact that like Alex could be successful at those like 20 calls, so I'm not sure what I think. So the aim is that people come here and it doesn't matter how good you are at closing, because they're already more go. And this is just practice and prediction. People try and tell you all this stuff back to you, it's just practice and predicting.
And I'd like to avoid it, that's not the reason we're going to take videos that he's selling, so I can post it online. Talking to people and then,
Yeah. I think they also, like, I think a founder's goal is like sales and marketing to start with, but if you don't like sales, it might be costing you money to not have closure. And I am good at sales but not great. My closer is great at sales, and I didn't relinquish control there.
okay.
And I gave him sales, and that was just picking, like, just through, it's incredible.
Did he come to Stater or not? Yeah. So probably hire Taylor because you've got to have a certain resilience to be able to. So
Yeah, I mean, the dream is to get someone who sets and closes for you. Yeah. So then what I would do is I just pay you a bit more. And if you find, I'd pay you 10%, and I'd give them a bit more base, because you need to find someone whose skills in the market are high enough in order for them to take the
to be able to trust it and be able to generate the sweat and everything.
Yeah.
Kind of has someone.
Cool.
This is really nice.
Beautiful. Yeah. Awesome. Any other questions? Any other?
How long did you take them for?
Maybe I wanna dig in. I'm gonna try and find a good 6 months in. I love the idea of that. I love the idea of just running like this sunny and lovely in the UK. It's pretty cold. I love this so much. But I think it's cool because I think English people and South Africa are pretty similar. Like the humor's pretty much the same.
No, it's funny. And they come through a winter and they're wearing like t-shirts. So like we like the
I was gonna say that. Like for me, it's the perfect style. I appreciate it. Mate, that's very good. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stop the live stream and we can have a chat after. Should we stop about this? Are we ready to stop? Guys, I appreciate everyone spending all their time. A good 3 hours and 40 minutes. Sounds super fun. This has been awesome. Thank you very much for coming on. And I appreciate everyone's time to spend the whole time here. And I will catch you